All right. Good night, everybody. We are ready to rock and roll, taking a look back at 2024. And we've got a special guest with us tonight. We've got Vito from Red Nails 2, an amazing comic book shop here in the GTA and the 6. So, Vito, how's everything?
Good. Yeah, no, everything's good. I had a busy day. It's Christmas season, so it's pretty busy at the shop right now. And yeah, the no taxes on stuff is a whirlwind right now, and been pretty busy. Yeah.
That's all right. Excellent. And Jay, how you doing? Everything's
I'm
great?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, Steve. Holiday season's coming up. Of course, it is a it's a crazy time right now in the toy space and in comics and everything. Of course. Um, Actually, I wanted to say something. Vito, did you know that the GST thing is not mandatory?
No, I didn't know it was meant. Well,
Yeah, it's an
I
opt-in. It's an opt-in thing apparently.
it's like I don't own the shop or anything like that. I leave that up to the boss. He tells
Yeah.
me what to do, and I follow
Yeah, no,
suit.
I found it
Uh,
shocking. I found it shocking the other day because I read an article on it, and it's crazy because Pepsi right away said we are not participating in this, and they
oh,
just
really?
opted out. They just opted out, and then a few days later, it literally just came to light that yeah, this is a completely optional thing, because I know for a fact this is going to throw a lot of people into chaos for their taxes come
A
next
little,
year
a little bit.
because this doesn't make any sense. How do you opt out of 2 months of GST, HST? And it's not even the full HST. It's actually only the GST portion of that HST. It's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's an
It,
absolute
my
crap show,
understanding as well. My understanding as well is that like these guys got to pay up front and hope for a solid refund.
which is crazy, right? And
Yeah,
then if your accountant isn't on point, you could
yeah.
potentially lose like thousands of dollars of income.
And
Just
so
absolutely.
yeah, so I guess the worry is that the government's just going to change their mind on something somewhere down the way,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden like all this product that they sold is just not valid anymore, or doesn't qualify, or whatever the case may be, right?
It could be an accounting nightmare.
Oh
No,
yeah,
not could be. It is an accounting nightmare, an
it will
absolute
be.
crap show.
Yeah.
Like people are shaking in their boots right now. And the thing is that a lot of people, now that it's come to light that it's an optional thing, a lot of companies basically saying, "Well, screw it, we're not going to bother. We're just going to keep
No,
collecting it."
I didn't hear that it was an optional
The
thing.
optional thing was, I'm like Vito. I'm in the dark on that one. I didn't know it was optional.
Yeah, I'll bring really quick while you're talking about your holiday plans, Steve. I'll bring it up so you guys can see the article.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be pretty much just like catching up on some sleep in some ways. Currently involved in a film that's being shot in the GTA and surrounding areas, so I'll be busy doing that. And then obviously getting ready for the Atrium, not only just wrapping up Atrium's fifth issue, which we're getting pages in as we speak, but also prepping for 2025, figuring out what shows we're going to go to, getting the graphic novel ready, and also for Atrium, and then also pitching a brand new. It's not a brand new, but it will be in terms of comic form, a brand new IP that's going to be connected to Comics Asylum Publishing. And speaking of in question, um, the in question HST holiday or GST holiday, we're trying to figure out what to do with our site because it's now live, and it's like, do we charge taxes on the books, or do we not charge taxes on the books? So we're trying to figure that out. But other than that, just looking forward to being with family, eating a little bit too much, getting some exercise, getting back to some exercise, and just hoping to spend some time with friends and fam.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And
So check this out.
all right.
This is
Before you go there, we just want to say hello to Vaughn. How you doing, buddy? He is not only a friend of the show, but I would say one of the important cogs at Comics Asylum. Without him, we would cease to be, for sure. Yeah. So go ahead, Jay.
yeah. So check this out. This is where things get really strange. What's going on here? So share screen.
We're getting an economics lesson to kick off the stream tonight.
So, just want to share that quickly. So check this out. This is weird. Do businesses legally have to partake in GST? No clear answer from the government or the CRA. And it says here, Dan Kelly, the head of the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, maintains GST holiday is optional and businesses can choose to charge and remit GST on exempt items if they want to. And you know what? In a lot of ways, a lot of companies are basically saying, yeah, we're gonna just basically keep charging because at this point it's just more of a headache than it is to not do it, right? And there has really been no clear cut answers on this. So yeah, it's just one of these really strange situations. The whole premise of it is just weird, in my opinion. And I was saying this from the very beginning. If the government wanted to do this, why didn't they just say, okay, for the 2-month break that they're calling it, right? This break, why don't you just hold on to all your receipts and then remit them to the government and get a rebate afterwards? How difficult would that have been for them? Because to put this on the onus of the business owners, it's an absolute nightmare, in my opinion. And when you think about it, that line of thinking is actually to their advantage, because most people can't even be bothered to save their receipts. So they would have just kept that money anyway. I just do not see the logic in what they were proposing with a GST holiday. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me.
They're just making noise, to be honest. I think he needs to do something. Like, he's not looking good.
Oh yeah, he's swimming. He's swimming in very, very deep waters right now. He is not.
Yeah.
It's
been a challenging week.
But to be fair, like, it's bringing people in, and people are pretty happy right now, and it's good to see, like, happy faces around this time. So at least we got that going on, and hopefully they don't change anything down the road, and it is a smooth, easy tax season for everybody involved, right?
Well, the thing about it is, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, this is actually going to be split between two tax years, because the savings that extend into 2025 will be filed for your 2025 taxes, and then the 2024 savings, which is now until, what is it, the 31st, 11/59, that'll be on this one, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess
basically,
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty. Again, it's the real problem is that there's no clear direction on this, right? It was literally like as quickly as it was proposed, it was put into law or whatever it is, because now it looks like just a suggestion, depending on who you ask. And because again, larger corporations are just basically saying, no, we're not going to do it. Like Pepsi actually has gone on record saying, no, we will continue to charge taxes. It's just really strange.
Fair enough.
A little more.
Fair enough. Well, let's get to something a little bit more uplifting and inspirational. We have Shay. How you doing? Hey ho.
Good to see you, Shay.
Absolutely. Nerd with a suit is kicking in here. The majority of the population should not be paying more taxes than CEOs who already have far more to last infinite lifetimes. You're not going to get an argument from me on that one at all. So good point. Good point there. But getting back to the feel-good stuff, and I know this is going to be a retrospective for 2024, but I want to look ahead to 2025 for a short minute.
Yeah.
So James Gunn has popped out a teaser for the teaser trailer that's coming out tomorrow for Superman, the new Superman film. There was a poster that came out earlier this week, and it was just a static poster, but had some like special effects on it. And there were some musical cues from John Williams' iconic Superman theme. So I have it all queued up. Let's give it a listen and a watch. And I want to get some feedback on what we've got going on. So let me just get this one rolling here.
Okay, I can hear. I can hear a bit of. There was actually a medley, right? It was a bit of Man of Steel. It was a bit of John Williams. It was a bit of the Donner cut. Like, there was and the the pinging of the titles very
Yes.
similar to
very similar to Superman 78.
Yes,
absolutely.
very similar. So yeah, it's almost as if he's trying to. Well, we'll see where it goes. Tomorrow, I think, is the big reveal, right? So, but in terms of a teaser, it's interesting, very interesting.
It feels like that he's like trying to get everybody, right? Like pretty much get everybody that's ever watched a Superman movie to come see this, right? The last two, Batman, Superman, and Justice League, like turned off a lot of people. Like, you need to get everybody in this one. This one can't flop.
Especially with, like, I know Batman is like the sales driver when it comes to not only the movies but also the books. I'm sure every LCS is looking at the Batman sales and going, thank God, right? In certain aspects. But I don't think comics works if Superman's weak. Like, if you have a weak Superman product, whether it's comics or the movies, I don't think that it's beneficial to it. So this movie has to hit. And I agree with you that he's trying to get. It's also important for him. Let's just be honest, because after leaving the MCU, his work with Peacemaker has been great, but there's a lot riding on him, kind of revitalizing DC's cinematic universe. And so there's a lot of Snyder fans out there. There's a lot of like goodwill to the public that's out there, but there's a lot riding on how he's going to guide this, because he's got a high bar with Guardians. If you can make Guardians what Guardians became, you got it. You have to hit like multiple home runs with this Superman film.
Yeah, there's a high expectation on Gunn right now, and the real problem is that you're going from one style of what people are accustomed to with the Marvel, lightheartedness, and to kind of like the Snyderverse kind of, you know what I mean, like, and sorry, not the Snyderverse, the what's it called, Wheaton, the Wheaton type of attitude, and the that type of attitude with Avengers and things like that. And then you've got, again, what happened with Snyder, right? I mean, like, there was this dark moodiness of the DC and where that kind of went, right? Yeah, it's a big shoes to fill, man. It's pretty crazy. And the real problem right now, at least anyways, is the early leaks on the pre-production. Everybody just jumped on what they saw, and again, everything gets smoothed out in post afterwards. So it's going to be interesting to see what the final trailer looks like, because I think a lot of people have been waiting.
I know you love the suit. I know
I absolutely 100% love that suit. Like, you guys, I can't wait until they put it on sale over at the UD Replicas. I can't wait.
And Vito, what do you think? What's your impressions?
Man, like Jay said, right? Like, moody Superman. Like, it was pretty bad, and I feel like they haven't really nailed Superman since the animated series in the 90s, to be honest. Like, there was
good point.
The like everything that's like, and even Justice League was good, right? Like, but there was less Clark Kent happening in Justice League, and so you really just kind of saw Superman, and you saw badass Superman, which was great. But to do it live action, man, like, Superman, he's settled. Like, Superman's got the confidence. Like, by the time Superman is rocking that S, like in public, like he's got all of his stuff sorted out. Like, he's gone the world. He's checked it out. He's figured out what he wants to do. I've always looked at that S as like his business. Like, it's like a nonprofit organization, right? And even throughout the comics, like, anybody that rocked that S had to live up to a specific standard, right? And he believes in that standard. And I don't think like to have Superman running around being Superman, like you got to be there. Like Superman is the last resort. Like when Darkseid comes, right? Like I don't need I like what like a guy that's been worried about whether or not like he's doing the right thing. No, like I just need this guy to like know he is good and ready, like to take care of business when it's time, right? I think there are three facets to Superman that, again, only the animated ever touched on, and that's the nonprofit organization. There's the bumbling disguise that he wears in public, and then there's the dude at home, eating the apple pie, hanging out with the Kents, hanging out with Lois Lane. Like these are three different characters that don't like that third character hardly gets touched on, like that middle character hardly gets touched on in the movies. But you need Reeves' confidence, the 78 confidence that Reeves hasn't been brought forward,
and with that spark of humor, right? Like
yeah.
like he could smile and he could talk. Like it wasn't like he was at a loss for words.
Yeah.
He was at home. Like you could almost tell that Henry Cavill's Superman was uncomfortable being among Earthlings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I won't even talk about Pa Kent. Like I love Kevin Costner, but that Pa Kent was that it just wasn't for me. Right. But like Reeves Superman. And I think, I think everything kind of fell apart, even with like Brendan Routh's interpretation of Chris Reeves Superman. He didn't talk enough either. When you think about it, like Superman is supposed to be like one of us and who everyone aspires to kind of be like. So he can talk to the kid who he's getting their cat out of the tree. He can dress down a criminal, right? Like you go back and you watch Superman 1, and I think it's the first one, and he's, I remember the guy who's kind of like trying to scale the building using the suction cups, and he's dropping one-liners. I can't tell you if Henry Cavill's Superman ever told a joke as Clark or as Superman.
No, it was actually Batman, but like Affleck, like he was the one tossing jokes around, right? And
yes,
it was very backwards to see the two of them have that role reversal thing, and it was kind of weird. But yeah, you're right. Like there's a lightheartedness to the Superman that's kind of like really integral, right? Like, and there's an article I read just the other day. James Gunn, he was kind of talking about how, and I don't know the actor's name. I'm pretty bad with names.
Corn Sweet.
Yeah, so he actually convinced Gunn and the studio to keep the trunks, and the way he explained it was, Superman's an alien, he's super powerful, like, but he wants to come off as friendly, like helpful, not scary or anything like that. And the idea was wear the trunks because it's almost like a wrestler's costume. And we all grew up watching wrestling and having a great time. Those guys were heroes, and they put on a show. And if I recall correctly, he kind of convinced them using that kind of metaphor, and like everybody agreed, and the shorts were a go, which I'm so happy about, because like Superman, like without the shorts, man, like I don't know. They tried it last time, and it was. Maybe the no shorts made him moody or something. But
though, I will say from a design aspect, having the red shorts cuts the blue, like because you've got the blue top, you've got the crest, you've got the shorts that cut it, and then you got the pants, which is blue again, and then you go back to the red boots, and then combine that with the cape, it kind of just breaks up the color scheme. Yeah. Right. I think it works for Batman because Batman's kind of like a more militaristic kind of a suit. There's more of a battle suit. And he even goes in an all black kind of, or matte gray kind of design, depending on, who's drawing it or what kind of film you're watching, whether it's the Nolans or the Schneiders or even the Tim Burtons. Right. So I think it works for Batman, but for Superman, and I always felt this was a problem with the Schneider one. The color palette for his costume was way too dark.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know that they were muted, and I know that they tried to fix that even with Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman 84, where her outfit was way brighter.
Yeah.
But I think it works better when you've got more color in that suit, and then the colors pop.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't seem friendly enough in the Snyder stuff, right? Like, especially after the battle, right? Like, half of Metropolis is destroyed, right? And see him next week, and like he's, brooding goth guy, and it's like it's supposed to be like the savior of the planet and stuff, and it was a bit too moody, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to be on the opposite side of that, though. Not so much that I didn't love. I mean, I grew up on Christopher Reeves. I grew up on the 78 Superman, and I loved it. The Donner cut, when I discovered it, absolutely epic. You know what I mean? I still have a very soft spot for all the comics of that age. You know what I mean, and things of that nature. But the real, and you know what, this is not a popular opinion. I mean, like, our good friend Dell and I, we've been at odds with this for a little while, but I know that it's a tendency for a lot of people to see the Boy Scout in blue, when red, white, and blue, the American flag. You know what I mean? Like, all the good things that should come from Superman, right? And I get that. I understand where that comes from, and it's a really great archetype to aspire to, right? And again, his complete opposite is supposed to be Batman. They're supposed to be at odds with each other. In terms of the Justice League, they're supposed to have those opposite opinions, right? Like, Superman's always the one who's supposed to advocate for peace, and Batman's supposed to be the one who advocates for at any cost, right? Aside from a few specific rules, right? But there really is this idea that Snyder introduced, during his tenure, was, what, he is an alien, right? I mean, like, the whole parallels that he showed with, learning how to use his powers, the fact that he was hearing everybody on the earth at the exact same time, seeing through people, and seeing the true nature of humanity, right? Because it's not just a face value thing. There's actually more layers to people than anyone can ever see, except for him, right? And having that sort of detachment, if you will, but still being rooted through being raised by humans himself, right? I think that there is some value to that, and I really did appreciate the cold water effect that it had. You know what I mean? And of course, when Kryptonians come down, to Zod and all of his army, who doesn't expect some sort of collateral damage out of that? I mean, you're one superpowered person taking on 100 of your own kind, who have powered suits, who can do pretty much exactly the same thing you do. There's going to be some collateral damage, and I remember tossing this around with Dell and with Hugh and with a lot of people saying, oh, Superman would never do that. He'd never allow anybody to get killed. It's like, that's kind of hard, and it's actually really kind of hard. And then you look at, like, some of the DC direct films, right? Like, what was it called? That series where Darkseid comes and basically decimates everybody. I can't remember which show that was. I think it was like Justice League Dark. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, that was an interesting take on it too, where all of the Justice League didn't know each other. So they all start fighting Darkseid, and basically they're all getting in each other's ways because they don't know how to act as a team, right? And even Superman in that show was a bit of a dick, I mean, like, he was kind of like, oh, look at you, you're Wonder Woman, you're kind of sexy, and I'm kind of attracted to you, and what's it called? Green Lantern did not like Batman, and the Flash was like completely enamored. There was this whole like storyline which kind of made more sense. But there's always going to be a part of me that really wants and yearns for a Christopher Reeve, unbreakable, unwavering, unmovable, version of Superman. But I have to say I didn't mind a more realistic, at least a little bit more realistic take on Superman with Snyder and yeah, he's moody. Yeah, he could stand to maybe throw in a few jokes here and there. He could be a little bit more relatable. But again, when you really did, like, and I think all of us have experienced this, whether or not we were teenagers or whether or not we were in our adult years. There is a point of isolation that you get when you are the only person, in a room, either whether you're a geek or a nerd or of a different ethnicity, and everybody around you has something in common, and you're the only one who doesn't. You know what I mean? There was, I think, that part of it that kind of, spoke to me a little bit. So, there is that. But of course, as I said, I still adore, Christopher Reeve's take on Superman and that age at the time.
For sure. And Nerd with the Suit has a great point, and I agree with it. I'm sure, Vito, you're in the same point. You're going to agree with this as well, too. Supes is Clark Kent before Superman in the same way that Adam is Adam before he is He-Man. And Jay, I totally am with you on what you're saying. I think what I was looking for, because I love Cavill as Superman. I thought he was great. I think that what I was missing, and you brought up a good point, and I never thought of it until you just said it. When the Kryptonians arrive, there's really no difference between Zod and the Kryptonians and Cavill's Superman in terms of like their demeanor. And you would think that having 20 plus years being raised, in the American Midwest would have given Clark just a little bit of a different slant on what he was saying or how he would approach things. And that's what I think I was missing. Because when you see Cavill in an interview, oh my God, he's absolutely charming. Like, this guy could be James Bond, right? And this is a dude, let's just be honest, he knows geek stuff better than people writing this stuff.
He's one of us. He's one
of us, man. He just looks like he was like chiseled by the Greek gods or whatever, right? Like he won the genetic lottery that way.
He did.
But he knows his stuff. And so I would have loved for him to even show that range within a film where he's got that I'm the stoic, quiet, can't talk to Lois type thing because he's holding stuff back, but also the person who would have been, chopping it up with Pa Kent and Ma Kent on a farm.
Yeah.
And having Pete Ross as his best friend and dating Lana and all that kind of stuff.
And
when he was in high school.
That is actually what was missing, in my opinion, right? Like Smallville, right? Like the heart of it all. There's a point with Superman that, like, he is confident that he belongs on Earth, right? Like, he's not a Kryptonian first. He's American first, right? Like that's always how it's been, and he was raised that way. I'm not sure if religion comes into play. I don't think so, but like he's definitely an all-American Kansas boy. He loves apple pie, loves hanging out on the farm. Just wants to have a good time. So I think, year Man of Steel, I thought it was great as a movie. I defended it, even the death of God and all that jazz. I would have liked that by the time we got to, Batman versus Superman, especially picking a fight with Batman, that he would just be more confident and secure. And I'm here, and I am going to make a difference, especially if he views Batman as a threat or whatever the case may be, right? But to be unsure and to still do all that, it was completely out of character, and that's fine. But again, in my opinion, once Superman is Superman, like he's had all that sorted out, right? Like the only thing he's unsure about is whether or not he can save as many lives as he wants to. Like that's in my opinion, like he's sorted it all out, and it's because of the Kents, right? The Kents really grounded him and made him feel human. Right, and I don't feel Cavill presented that in Batman, Superman, and Justice League.
Yeah, and to his credit, I'm not sure if it was a Cavill decision or if it was a Snyder decision. I think that the kind of writing that is prevalent in the movies, thus far, sort of lent itself to that type of, again, detachment, right?
Yeah.
Which I felt that he really was at odds with his A, upbringing, and B, who he really is, right? Because it's unfortunate that he had to grow up different. It would have been, and I'm not sure if the original writing back in the day even explored that idea that when he was growing up, he could hear everything, he could smell everything, he could taste everything, he could see through people, right? I mean, that's a scary thing for a kid, right? Because even Kryptonians aren't supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Like if a Kryptonian was living on his or her native planet, they would never have experienced those type of horrors, right? Or those types of things. And he had to actually figure that out on his own. And it was only through the grace of his parents that that was actually a thing. So, knowing that you're different, right? Which many of us have had to go through that, right? Dealing with that type of adversity, it does shape your world around you, right? And unfortunately, it really does kind of sort of make you second guess a lot of things as you are growing up, And I think that was a really good exploration in Kingdom Come, which I still champion to this day as as a really great film worthy book, right? Because it is in that, and I think that's probably another reason where, or possibly another inspiration from. I'm only like extrapolating here, but I would imagine that was actually one of the reasons why Snyder decided to go in that direction, right? Because I think that he saw that version of Superman basically now losing faith with his own world, both of his worlds, right? Whether it was being a Kryptonian or being a human being, with that sort of morality, and then having to abandon all that because the world rejects you, right? And I think that was the biggest fear for Superman at the time, revealing himself to the world, because did he know that he was going to be accepted or rejected, right? And I think that played a lot into what he was in the Man of Steel. Again, this is all just my own. I'm just going to say this as my own take on it, but that's the way I look at it.
Still, the Snyder movies brought like some badassness that was long overdue to
the fights. Oh my gosh, the fights, the actions were amazing.
I just wanted a melee, like punch, eye blast, flying, and I got that. I ended up getting what I wanted out of the movie.
Yes,
which I need that equal, and I guess now I kind of need the balance between how badass he actually is. Like this guy can snap the planet by sneezing or farting or
Pretty much.
but he's a Boy Scout.
No chili, Lois. No chili.
Yeah, he's a Boy Scout first, right? And I need that balance. I need the Boy Scoutness, and then I need everybody to kind of like, holy shit, Superman just showed up, right?
Right. Like when Thor shows up in Infinity War, and there's and everyone goes, "Oh my god!" And to be honest with you, that is the height of Thor in the MCU. Yeah, bring me Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's also an old comic book. It's Avengers, I don't know, 165, where they're fighting Count Nefaria, and Count Nefaria is kicking everybody's ass. And he's like, "Bring me Thor, man." I think he got a power boost. He's bring me Thor. And Thor shows up at the end of that book, and it's like, "You want me, you got me." And he'll have the Count Nefaria, how he used to talk in his quasi Shakespearean stuff. And it's that shaking in your boots thing where it's like, oh shit, this guy's here. You want that for Supes as well too, where there's that mad respect. And I don't want to go down this road, but where then you have people who are absolutely infinitely inferior to him, kind of like shrugging and going, whatever I can think of. If it's Luthor, that's fine, because like his ego gives him that leveling up. But it should be when he shows up, it's like, okay, time to go.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I'm
go ahead.
Excited. I think it's going to be a good movie. Like there haven't been too many theater-worthy movies in the past couple of years, in my opinion. So this one I think is just going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, no, I'm pretty jazzed for it, and yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're going to switch gears, but we're going to keep it in the realm of. Let's go. We're going to look at our top things of 2024. Is there one that you guys want to start with? Do you want to start comics? Do you want me to kick it off? We're going to look at all different genres. We got some toys, we got some comics, we got film. Is there one that you'd like to look at first, or do you want to hear what my list is for one of them, and then we follow from that? How do you guys want to go about it? Is there something that you're just dying to go and say, I got to talk about this?
I'll follow your guys' lead. You go ahead.
All right, so we're going to stick with comics. We're going to switch it up, but let's stick with comics. And I'm just gonna like highlight the books that I enjoyed reading. Right, so I'm going to bring them up on screen, and then Vito, you can give us your input on how these ones not only performed at the shop, but maybe amongst your readers,
sure.
what the feedback was. So I completely enjoyed Rook Exodus by Ghost Machine. Like I'm totally enjoying this. Now, for anyone who's not familiar, Ghost Machine is basically another imprint, kind of like Skybound. It's almost like Image, I don't know, 2.0, 3.0, I guess at this point. And they have a collection of superstar artists. Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok are the creative team on this one. And it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic on an alien planet kind of scavenger type of story. And I love the artwork. Fabok's artwork is fantastic, and Johns' world that he's building is great. I think I'm on issue 4 or issue 5. And basically what it is you've got, well, I'll just read the thing. 100 years from now, the man known as Rook was once a simple farmer who fled the crumbling earth for a new life on the planet Exodus, a terraformed planet where all of nature, including its imported animal population, was completely controlled by humans called Wardens. But when Exodus's world engine failed, the Wardens' power fell into the wrong hands, creating chaos and mass evacuation for those who could afford it. The rest, like Rook, must scavenge for an escape vessel as the war for control of what's left of Exodus begins. Don't miss out on this new entry in the exciting Ghost Machine rollout. I loved it. A lot of the Ghost Machine stuff. Hyde Street's great by Ivan Reyes. Geiger, which is, I think that was out beforehand, before it became part of, I guess, this relaunch. There's just some really good titles. And then Redcoat, I think, and is also out as well, too. And Jeff Johns is kind of like the Stan Lee of this universe, where he's kind of crafting everything and doing a great job, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Rook was the most popular one, I think. There's also Halo and Hornsby that started recently, and Rockefellers.
Rockefellers by Francis Manapul. Yes.
Yep. Oh man, like really, like almost every series has superstars.
Bangers.
Like
banger superstars. Absolutely.
You can't go wrong. They're all going to be absolutely good reads. I've only read first couple of issues of Geiger and Rook. Rook was phenomenal. I really like the world that they created there. You're right, Geiger was a continuation of this is volume 2, I would say. And I'd say that Rook is the most popular, and like the reception has been great with all the Ghost Machine stuff.
And it's an interconnected universe, if I'm not mistaken.
That I'm unsure of.
I think it's all interconnected from start to finish. They even have like this big timeline.
Okay.
Of how it works.
Rook, I guess, is in the future.
I would say yes. And Redcoat, obviously, I think takes place during like the Revolutionary War.
Yes.
And then there's Junkyard Joe, which takes place during, I think, the Vietnam War or the Korean War. I'm not quite sure. So there is this huge timeline where things are happening. That's a great read. I'm just going to go to another one, which I totally enjoyed. And I'm enjoying the Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez. And so they've broken up this is after, I guess, the Age of Krakoa. And they've kind of relaunched the books where the teams are split apart, kind of like going back to like the X-Men Red, X-Men Blue, all those different teams from the early 90s. And this one kind of gives Rogue and Gambit the spotlight. Rogue more so because she's kind of leading this group. And it's Gail Simone's a great writer, and she's really hitting some good notes on this one. What's the feedback been on this one?
The feedback on Uncanny has been good. X-Men has been good too. I think Uncanny people are liking more. I think it's Gail Simone. She's written them before, and I think there's a nostalgic thing. Like she's writing them really well, and she's really good with character development and just the way she writes them. I find
Right.
it's like really able to tap into the characters. Unlike some of the other stuff like X Factor and X Force aren't being received the same. And again, I feel like the writers don't really know the characters too well. But Gail Simone knows the X-Men really well, and it shows in her writing for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That one is one of the ones that I'm going back to the store to get all the time. Again from Marvel, I have actually, and I'm usually sometime-ish on how they present this character, but I've loved the current run on the Incredible Hulk. This is one of my favorite. Basically, I think I've been picking it up the entire year, and this is after Immortal Hulk. And Nick Klein is the artist, and the writer is slipping my mind at the moment. Johnson, and it's been a fantastic ride, and they basically dipped into the horror elements of the Hulk. So the Hulk now, after Immortal Hulk, you have this green door, which is basically what has allowed him to survive the Gamma Blast, and he's almost like a creature from the beginning of time. And he's not facing gamma irradiated villains anymore. He's going to the core demonic kind of forces and fighting them. And it's a really interesting look at the character. I'm still missing my Banner. I'm Team Banner, so I want to see a lot of Bruce in Hulk books. But there's enough in here and there's still the battle between the two of them, where it's interesting. But I'm really enjoying this book, and when Nick Klein gets to go nuts on the artwork, it's a fun read, man.
Yeah,
like it's really powerful artwork that helps drive this story.
This is one title like I haven't kept up with the Incredible Hulk, but yeah, no, like this is another one that's really popular. A buddy of mine is raving about it a lot. He read the last issue and he dug it a lot. I think he gains a sidekick of some sort.
Yeah, he's got this young girl who kind of is reminiscent of like the Rick Jones and Sam Jones era. And her name's Charlie, and he's got to kind of protect her. And she's got some kind of dark secrets as well too. But then there's some interesting guest stars with, like, they have a Ghost Rider from World War One that shows up on an old kind of like military issue bike, and he's doing his going from town to town kind of thing. So it's got a little bit of that 70s Banner as a nomad kind of thing. And then Betty shows up as almost as a chip to kind of convince him to join the dark side in a certain manner. But it's really well done. It's really engaging, and they've done something really interesting with his transformation, where basically they're continuing what was happening in Immortal Hulk, where he rips out of Banner's skin. So there's like teeth left behind. It's absolutely disgusting, but a lot of fun. Yeah, Jay, it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. Two other books that I really enjoyed were The Absolute Batman and Ultimate Spider-Man, and I think those are probably the two banger titles when you look at comics, especially out of the big two, which makes sense because you got the two best characters from each company. So I totally enjoyed them. There's another one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I loved it for the art aspect of it. And it's an indie book, and it was Death Transit Tanager, and it's by a Canadian called Carl Kerschel, and he kickstarted it, and he started it this year. But he also has the book up for free. And what I'll do is I'm just gonna see if I can get some of the pages. So it's in black and white, and it's absolutely stunning. Like, it's just a great looking book. The art's fantastic. It's a cool story, which basically it follows the Death Transit Tanager, who, whoops, they're a little bit too forward there, who kind of collects souls before they're gone, and kind of guides them along the way. But like, he's got it's a bit slow here. He's got a style that is kind of like manga-esque, and it's a really good read. It's like it's not like a heavy bogged down kind of text heavy, but you get enough story. The artwork's fantastic. It's got a great concept, and it's just a fun read. So Paul Kerschel's, you can actually go to his site. You can read it for free, and then I think he puts them together when he does Kickstarters.
Okay.
So this is a great book too. And then my last but not least, this is my favorite. I think they're going to a trade right now. Is The Pedestrian. The Pedestrian, and I think I was in the shop when one of your customers brought this up, and I picked it up. This is by Joe Esposito and Sean Von Gorman. It's by Magma Comics, and it is exactly what it looks like. It's like a secret order of, I guess, like people who are against jaywalking, and you just got to read it. It's absolutely a bit tongue in cheek, but then also takes itself incredibly seriously, and it's just a fun read. Absolutely. And it goes from like street level to like mad cosmic.
Oh,
so
really?
Oh yeah. It doesn't stay exactly where you start with it, and it's a nuts ride, man. It's absolutely. So it's like, behold, the pedestrian, a strange visitor speedwalks into Summer City and silently changes the lives of its residents, but not all is quiet in this sleepy small town. An ancient conflict linked to the secret history of street signs is brewing. Don't walk, run. Into pedestrian, justice always has the right of way. And it's as absurd as it sounds. It is. It's really good. It's really good. And I think they may have a trailer.
You had me. Oh my god, that's just too crazy.
So it's a pretty long trailer, but I won't play all of it. But this book is great. And the best part of it is, he will not jaywalk. Now he'll walk. And those are the arch enemies right there.
We just lowered it a little bit. There you go. That's perfect.
Now I gotta go through it.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You had me at pedestrian. Like seriously, it just
Yeah.
looks like a great read. Seriously,
It's absolutely bonkers. It's an absolute bonkers. I think the trade's out now. So that's something that I'll be looking at getting as well too. But those are some of the books that I totally enjoyed. And then, you know, there are a lot of indie books that came out through Kickstarters that I supported that I really enjoyed. But in terms of my standouts of 2024, I'd say it's those.
Very nice.
Yeah. And how about you, Vito? Did you have any that you're like, oh, this was interesting, or that were mad hot at the shop?
Well, like mad hot right now, the first appearance of Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate Man all year, Absolute Batman. Actually, all three absolutes have been doing very well. Personal reads, like, so I've been doing a little bit of writing, and so I've been kind of avoiding a lot of story reading time for myself, just so I could just keep my stuff going on my own. But a few things that I did read, I really liked the DC All-In one-shot that came out.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That kind of brought me back to some old school Justice League, like when I first got into DC. That Dark Side story was really well done.
Yeah.
I read last night Ram V's New Gods, and that was really
I just picked that up. I just picked it up today. I went to Gotham to pick that up, and so I'm looking forward to reading that.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. And Absolute Superman, that really stuck out a lot for me. That first issue, like I was just like, as I said before about how I feel about Clark Kent, blah blah blah. That second issue, it got me. Like, it was really well done. Jason Aaron writing it. And you can't go wrong with Jason Aaron. Like he's just great with pretty much anything he's done. I'm excited. I like how they set up Krypton. I like his suit a lot. Have you guys read it? Am I spoiling?
Oh yeah, I've read it. Like even where he's like his social cast, let's just call it that, right? Like what the S actually stands for. It doesn't stand for what.
Yeah,
it's not hope. It's something completely different.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right?
I like Lois Lane. I like where she's at. Right?
Yes.
It's, again, a little bit more badass. But that second issue, like, it was really well told, in my opinion, and it really it made him kind of stand out a little bit on its own, right? Like when 52 came, like he was just kind of a bit of a punk, and everybody else, you know, was like when I've read issue 1, I kind of felt like New 52, Connor Kent the clone, that kind of stuff.
Right.
When I read issue 2, it felt a little bit more, okay, this is Superman.
Gotcha.
Which I enjoyed.
Gotcha.
And a sleeper hit for me was Thundercats Apex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
What was it about Thundercats Apex that got you?
So in the lead up, so like they rebooted it, they kind of are retelling it in a little bit more of a darker tone, definitely more geared towards adults. It's definitely a story for us. But they've been kind of alluding at like this dude showed up in like issue 8, alluding to like, you know, this really horrible war. I can spoil the Thundercats Apex. You guys aren't going to read it, right?
I'll check it out.
Now that you mentioned it, damn it!
but Vito, MJR is a huge Thundercats.
I'm a huge Thundercats fan.
Yeah, huge Thundercats fan.
Unfortunately, I have been turned off for a lot of media. You know, like, but I'm always in for a good story. So
the basic gist is in sometime in the future, there's going to be a really horrible battle between the Thundercats and all the mutants, and the Thundercats get annihilated.
But that's not so different. That's technically not so different from the last reboot. You know what I mean? Because on a very technical note, that's exactly what happened on the in a very loose manner. That's technically what happened in the 2010 version. No, sorry, 2015 version.
The anime.
You know what I mean? The anime. Yeah.
I didn't finish watching that one, to be honest. Like it just kind of like it felt a little bit slow for me. But they bring in a new character that comes from the future. So basically, one Thundercat survives, and
Cool.
he essentially soups himself up, and he goes back in time to kind of stop and save his, like, stop the battle, like stop the Thundercats from losing and getting annihilated. And it ends up being Lino, and he's fused together with the Eye of Thundera in his eye. He's got the power of Mumra, and he's willing to do pretty much anything. Like I think it was like the Mole Man or something like that.
Okay.
He went back in time, and he's essentially going to go right across Thundera, and he's just going to kill all the villains and essentially stop the...
Okay, so Thundera. So it doesn't happen on Third Earth.
Sorry, Third Earth.
Okay.
It is. Chitara has a side story that's a flashback that's on Thundera, and there's a lot of good storytelling with Thundercats right
Nice.
now.
I'm looking for. I'm always looking for a new take on it. The new designs are interesting. They're not necessarily traditional. There are a few changes on it, which I've seen. But I'm not adverse to that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't mind where they were going with the anime. And I wish that they actually finished off the final season. Hopefully Netflix will one day pick it up. But
it's a beautiful looking cartoon, man.
It was. And admittedly, it was a little bit slower. But I think that they were trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
they were setting up a lot of things.
It was beautiful. Like it was so beautiful. It deserved more seasons than what it got. But like the pacing for me personally, I think it was just a timing thing for when I was watching it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it.
But what did you think of the old school Dark Horse stuff, like Thundercats or the?
So I collected it. It's funny because I was in the middle of collecting it, and I enjoyed it for what it was. The idea that Lino was propelled, who was trapped in the Book of Omens for a number of years, like decades actually, and then Snarf through dedication just eventually waits it out, right? But then in that time, so many different Thundercats. Actually, I think I'm remembering the Image comic, not really the Dark Horse.
No. You're right on. You're on point. Point.
Okay. So that in and of itself also had some sort of darker tone to it, right? But at the end of the day, just like everything else, nostalgia is a very powerful tool, right? So it was not so much a reboot as it was a continuation. So it was interesting going along those lines. I didn't actually make it to the end because I was, so many different things were happening around that time. I think I was just out of college and going into a new job. I think that's what was happening, and I would have liked to really finish it. Unfortunately, I never really had the time. But it was for what it was. I love the artwork is on point. The story was actually going somewhere, and I really did enjoy the books that it did have.
Yeah, no, they and this has a very similar like you're right, like in that time there was like some pretty bad stuff that happened on Third Earth, and it has that very similar feel. But they upped the stakes in this new one, so
nice.
Yeah, that definite recommendation. I took notes just in case I got stage fright.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, I guess shout out to a few things that like I've been flipping through the books as they've been coming into the shop. Mad Cave and Oni Press putting out like Flash Gordon, Dick Tracy, the Phantom is coming up. Oni Press with the EC comic stuff, the horror stuff that they brought back, sci-fi stuff. Those have been really fun to go through and really absorb a little bit something different outside of the superhero stuff. So I've enjoyed that. Penthouse, they brought back Penthouse, and that those have been just beautiful right across the board. So those are the things that stand out the most to me this year, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna go to some comments, and after the comments, Jay, we're gonna hit some toys.
Yeah, we are.
All right. So, Nerd with a Suit, I had this up earlier, but I'll put it up again. Oh, hey, I met Gail Simone in 2018. She is so cool. Yes, she is. She's fantastic. And the cool thing about Gail is that not only is she a great writer, but she'll also signal boost other creators, like on social media. So if you're doing something well, she'll shout you out. She's not a gatekeeper at all, like, which is fantastic. Nerd with a Suit says Transformers 1. Yeah, all those
Great.
comics did really well.
Great
Did
movie.
really, really well.
It really is a shame. It really is a shame that they marketed it so poorly. It should have been marketed more as a Shrek than it was a kids movie. I think that's really it was a real big downfall. Whoever the marketing team was for, because to be honest with you, the way they positioned it in the trailers, I thought it was going to be I thought it was a kids show. Like, honestly, through and through, I thought it was a kids show. And then you actually sit down and watch it on. I think it was like Netflix. Or sorry, no, I think it was on Prime. And I was like, oh, sorry, no, it was Paramount One, I think. Anyway, you sit down and you watch it, like, what the hell? Where was this? Like, why? It was just a shame. And so many different people tried to review it and tried to pump it on their channels, and it was too bad, really too bad.
Yeah, totally. Hang on a second. I'm going back in time here. Yes. So, Radimus Prime, 1982. R.I.P. to Morgan Lofting, our Baroness. So the voice actor for the Baroness unfortunately passed away a few days ago. And she was great as Baroness. Baroness is one of the best characters that came out of that cartoon, like, bar none, for sure. We have Nerd with a Suit, Superman with trunks forever. Can't argue with that. Let me see what else we have here. Let's go to. Let me see here. Nerd with a Suit also said Michael Shannon as Zod was the best part of MOS, no question. He's fantastic actor, period. Like, Michael Shannon, he can kind of carry some what's the word I'm looking for? Some menace without actually having to be, like, a bit too extra. He's really, really good. He's a great actor. We have MOTU Prince. Snyder's Soups was the best. You're not going to get an argument from a lot of people there. The Snyderverse has got some stands without a doubt. Nerd with a Suit again said Comic Hulk is basically the only place to truly see 100% why he is an absolute comic book favorite to this day. That's true. Comic book MCU dropped the ball on multiple occasions with him. Yeah, I'm a huge Hulk fan, and I could go on all night about my disappointment. Him not getting another shot at Thanos still bugs me.
Yeah.
After that absolute beatdown that he took in Infinity War, for sure. Nerd with a Suit. I swear a lot of people who wrote for New 52 really didn't like Wonder Woman. Shao Kahn. Hello there, everyone. How you doing, Shao?
It's good to see you, bro.
Nerd with a Suit has some very interesting comment here, because this is one I've never seen, but I know that it's got a lot of fans. I want a new Rocketeer movie that's good when it comes to these heroes based in the classic pulp era, like you were mentioning with, I guess the Phantom. The Phantom was to be honest with you, I'll argue that the original Phantom from the 90s was probably the best comic book accurate costume for a time. Like, he basically looked great.
The Billy Zane movie?
The Billy Zane one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was on point. The Shadows costume was pretty good too. But like when you really stand them up, I would say that's top 10.
I would say at that time, they were the only ones that really pushed the colors, right?
The purple was on point.
Right? What else was there? There was nothing
Unapologetic. I guess maybe that 90s Captain America movie pushed the colors as well too. Too bad the film was not great.
Apparently the daughter, or I'm not sure if it's the daughter or one of them is somebody of the family is trying to get the director's cut released.
Yes, apparently so. And I didn't realize this because I took English in school, so that's J.D. Salinger's kid who plays Steve Rogers. So the author of Catcher in the Rye, is that J.D. Salinger? I think that's his son who portrays Steve Rogers in that '90s Cap movie.
Okay.
So that's some interesting some literature connections. All right, Jay, give me your toys of 2024.
Yeah, hold on for a sec. Don't move. All right, so it's been a crazy year for toys. But before we get to that, Vito, what are some of the best sellers right now for what's really moving on the toy space on the shop right
Toy
now?
space, Marvel Legends, Jay the
Obviously.
Toy Fighter,
Pretty fun, yep.
McFarlane's have been moving, especially the ones lately. Like he's really nailing the sculpts and doing some justice to some of the characters. So those are really popular right now. What else sold really well? Oh, the Dragon Ball Bandai. Not the figure art stuff, but the Bandai, like that.
Yeah, the slightly the one level down from
yeah. So those have been selling really well. We got some Street Sharks that, like, surprisingly, like I didn't think they were going to sell really well.
I didn't think so. They need Vin Diesel to come back and pump that hard, man.
I think Marvel Legends.
Okay, so big question.
Yeah.
How's Star Wars moving?
Not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
The head just shook exactly like that. Star Wars is not moving. So let's start off, Steve, with a positive note on Star Wars. The number 10 on my list for top 10 of 2024 is the Ghost. The Ghost is of course this was a HasLab project, but I got to tell you, in terms of like bringing it back old school and really nailing it, I think that the Ghost really gives you that feeling of a Carillion freighter. You know what I mean? The type of design that was actually put into this, and of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm a huge Rebels fan. So this was just an immense love letter to the fans. Totally smashed its goal. Reaching 21,768 backers with an 8,000 backer goal. And again, unlocking every single one of the stretch goals. You basically got the entire Ghost crew, Harrison Dula, all of the secondary figures. You got the Phantom 2, which has a built-in chopper in it. You know what I mean? The whole Ghost itself disassembles very much like the Millennium Falcon. Of course, you got Ezra Bridger. You picked up Kanan Jarrus, Zeb Aurelios, and the one they didn't include here was actually what's her face? Oh gosh, she was in the series. I can't. It's now I'm gonna get flack from everybody for not remembering. It'll come to me eventually. But the entire crew is basically there. She came out as an exclusive on Hasbro Pulse later, and I'm pretty sure somebody's yelling at me. But the Ghost, incredible playset, if you will, vehicle, and really it's just, as you can see here in the exploded view, everything comes apart. You can go inside, see all the nooks and crannies. You can see the bunks. You can see the working engine. All that stuff, and I don't know why it's not coming up. That's so weird. I don't know why. The new HasLab site sucks. You can see the cockpit right here, where Hera is actually piloting the ship. All four seats on the back. If you ever watched the series, each one is individually tapered to each character. You can see Chopper there inside the Phantom 2. And yeah, it's just a triumph. Now, of course, it costs upwards of $499, but worth every penny. And even though I'm saying that, I didn't even buy this thing because it was between this and one of my other picks down the line. But I mean, you just look at this thing, guys, and doesn't this somewhat remind you of the Millennium Falcon in certain regards?
Oh yeah,
this thing,
definitely. The piping, all of the design work and whatnot on the side, that's absolutely it. Yeah, even that back end on the that looks like the part of the Millennium. Actually, I think that's where you used to put the batteries in the original toy.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, this one does not have lights and sound, which is really a bummer for so many different fans. Because, of course, they could do it with the Millennium Falcon, and a lot of people were expecting that that would happen here. That was pretty much the only drawback from the Ghost. But other than that, the overall design, the look, and the size, this thing is absolutely gargantuan. It's massive, to say the least. Let's see if we can find the dimensions here. But it is huge, especially when you think about it, for a 3.75 inch figure size. This thing's just gigantic. Love the engine array, all the wonderful details that are in this. I mean, again, talking about Corellian freighters. I mean, look at all that rich detail in there. Like you get this as a playset. You know what I mean? Like this just crazy. Looking for the freaking dimensions on this thing. Of course, it's somewhere all the way down the line. Let's check out the gallery. Maybe it'll just help us out a little bit. Where is it? Come on. As you can see, lots of great stuff. It was Sabine Wren, by the way.
Sabine
Wren. Yeah, totally. So here's another look at this one. What the heck? Come on, you can do it. Come to the right. There you go. So these are the sleeping quarters. Look at all this, just rich detail. You can tell this is Sabine's room. Speak of the devil, right? There of course, she is all into the artistry and the nuance. You gotta love the gaming room, right? Zeb has his own chair, right? And of course, the grime and the nature of Star Wars. You can actually see, all the different stations, how grimy they are. Again, this world that George Lucas actually built. This was definitely the surprise that had nothing to do with well, it didn't. Not that it had nothing to do with George, but this was definitely Dave Filoni's work, and you could really tell. And here, you can tell each single seat belongs to somebody, right? One belongs to Sabine, one belongs to Zeb, one belongs to Ezra, the other one belongs to Kanan, right? And of course, the pilot seat is for Hera, right? So again, this is just a really great triumph for anybody who's a fan of Rebels. And here they are. They're as you can see, they did again. As you can see here, so, that's one portion of the pilot seat. But if you go into the gunner portion in the front, right, it's right there. And then if you actually see the other side here, okay, that's weird. Where did it go? Okay, come on. You can see that I don't know why it's doing that. There it is. You can see that each seat actually belongs to individual characters. Again, just a wonderful nod and really love letter to the fans for this set. And of course, you can see just how well the characters fit into this world. So yeah, not much to talk about in terms of Star Wars on retail sales, but I do have to say that in terms of my number 10 for toys of 2024, the Ghost has to be in that conversation. So that is number 10. Yeah. Have you, Vito? Did you guys get the Ghost, or did you go in on that?
No, I don't. I cherry pick some of the Black series. Generally, like a Jedi or a Sith. Anybody with a lightsaber, is generally who I try and track down. But no, not Star Wars. Definitely not this.
Yeah.
It's super cool, man. They really go all out when it comes to the Star Wars vehicles and the G.I. Joe vehicles. They do them really well, which is always impressive and nice to see, right? Like you said, for the price point.
Yeah, I mean it was retailed at $449.99, and now that it's actually starting to hit people's homes, you're looking at 1,500 US. You're getting upwards of 2,000. It's just going to keep skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So in terms of an investment, this thing, I mean, like I said, it literally is just a functioning piece of art. You know what I mean? Like this thing, it looks crazy. Any thoughts on this one, Steve?
No, it's beautiful. I think we looked at this one earlier this year, and I'm a sucker, because I like to draw for all of the design elements to it. Just a fantastic looking piece.
Yeah, and there wasn't much there wasn't much hoopla to talk about with Star Wars this year. Although I will say, I am getting into Skeleton Crew quite a bit. I think that
Skeleton Crew is great, man.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
It's a fun show.
I'm
like,
liking it a lot.
All of the bad vibes that they may have gotten from the Acolyte or whatever, they're ending the year off right. And Skeleton Crew is actually in one of my shows that I'm enjoying from 2024.
And I agree. I'm totally on board with it. I really am enjoying Goonies in space. You know what I mean? I'm really digging it, man. I hope they expand.
Even the 1980s suburban aesthetic. I swear it's hilarious when I look at how they have the suburban thing set up on Manhattan. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. But you and I talked about that and how much it was a departure from Star Wars. But now that we know a little bit more of what Atten means to the rest of the universe, it's sort of really starting to make sense now.
It makes total sense.
Right? It makes total sense. And I love that. That's good writing. You know what I mean? A very refreshing take on something that's been sorely lacking in Star Wars. Anyway, let's move on from Star Wars and move into the next my number 9 pick of 2024, and it's Hush Batman.
Oh yeah.
Hush Batman was an incredible surprise. Holy crap. This one is the Mace Fix edition, and I gotta tell you, this one really dialed it up to 11, particularly with the cape. The soft goods cape on this was just absolutely ridiculous. What you're seeing here is real. Like it has a wire on it, and man, I gotta tell you, the Japanese know what the heck they're doing in terms of action figures. If you have a little over $100 to spend, you definitely want to drop it on Hush Batman. The entire Hush line is actually pretty good, but Batman himself is pretty freaking badass. Comes with a host of different accessories, and of course, you can do it in 2 different flavors. You can have the subdued crushed black blues. You can have the black edition, or you can have the really bright blue edition if you're really into the classic Batman motif. Articulation is absolutely ridiculous on this guy. I did a full review on my other channel, Figure Me, and you guys should definitely check that one out. But we had a lot of fun playing with Hush Batman, and everything here, it's top notch. You can take off his head with a cowl, put on the Bruce Wayne head. And that freaking cape, I just cannot get over that cape. That cape is
all about the cape on that one for sure.
Vito, tell me that's not a Jim Lee rendition right there. Like that looks like Jim Lee's Batman.
Hush.
Like that one where he's running and the way the cape is, that is just pure. That's a Jim Lee picture right there in an action figure for sure.
Yeah, no, they nailed it. They nailed this one. Beautiful.
100%. Like I said, it's a little bit on the pricey side. He doesn't really scale well with McFarlane, but he is a must-have. If you miss out on Hush Batman, consider yourself missing out on pretty much your entire Batman line. This one is an absolute must-have if you want for 2024. And actually, it's technically, I think, a late 2023 edition, but seriously, he was top notch in my opinion. This is my list, by the way, just so you guys can shut up. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
all of these lists are our lists.
Pretty much,
it's all good. It's all good.
Hush Batman, everybody, definitely pick him up if you can. I believe he's still available on Entertainment Earth. They have links in the description below, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, definitely check out Hush Batman. My number 9 pick for 2024. Then we move on to Nemesis freaking Enforcer, man.
Wow.
Like, honestly, there wasn't much to talk about with G.I. Joe for myself. G.I. Joe is still hot as hell. I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. Actually, you know what, Vito, do you carry Joe's at all? Like, I think
Joe's also a number 1 seller in the store for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hard to keep them in stock. And one of the best things about G.I. Joe in Canada anyway is that smaller retailers can actually compete with freaking Toys R Us, because Toys R Us had went stupid and decided to price these Joes at $45 to $49 each for a regular figure. Yeah. So smaller retailers actually have a chance, because I don't know what happened to Sunrise. They lost their minds. But the Nemesis Enforcer here is, at least until probably another couple months, because they always do this, he is right now a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And I got to tell you, we've been waiting. Many Joe fans have been waiting for Cobra La to rear its ugly head, because obviously it's a very polarizing thing in the GI Joe fandom. But you cannot one character I think everyone can always walk away with happy is Nemesis freaking Enforcer, and it's Enforcer. It's not Immortal. It is Nemesis Enforcer. Okay, everybody who says Immortal, you're wrong. All right, that's all.
I will say one thing. I was a little disappointed with the wings on this one. I was really hoping for some animated wings.
Yes, 100%. I'm totally on board with you, Vito. 100%. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull one up. Nemesis. I have to put in Immortal, unfortunately. Immortal and what's it? Venom Wings. Venom Wings. Let's see if somebody. Yeah, it's the Null Wings. Yeah. So here's a shot of a Kit Bash. Here's a shot of a Kit Bash with Null's wings and Nemesis Enforcer.
Way better.
That looks much better.
Way better.
Yeah.
I saw someone use some Mythic Legion wings.
Yeah, those are crazy too, right?
So those look pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But those are a little bit closer.
Yeah. In terms of something that you can actually keep, I guess, within brand, because obviously these come from Marvel Legends and this is obviously G.I. Joe. I think that that's something a lot of people are able to do. The only drawback here is the tatters, the little rips in the wings. That's the only drawback on this Kit Bash, right? But in terms of what it is overall for the character, I think a lot of people are definitely looking into making this a little bit more of a staple. But I'm on board with you 100%. These wings are a little bit too bat-like, right? They just don't fit with the original design of the character, and I think that's going to be a running theme for most of the line. But yeah, seeing some of the characters that are starting to lean into the Sunbow animation, especially with the announcement of Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear. There's a lot of things on the horizon for G.I. Joe, which are going to be a lot more fun. And I think that's really what's been missing lately with G.I. Joe. They've really been going for mostly repaints and reuse of parts. And I think people are already wary of that game. So coming out with a brand new original character like Nemesis Enforcer was very, very important at this stage of the G.I. Joe life cycle. And I think that if we get to see more characters from Cobra La, as you can see here, Cobra Commander just being entrapped by the clan in the background, absolutely crazy. So huge shout out and congratulations to Nemesis Enforcer, Nemesis Immortal, Nemesis Enforcer, because that is who this is. It's not Nemesis Immortal, it is Nemesis Enforcer. Steve, did you have any affinity towards G.I. Joe the movie or this character?
I loved it. I honestly, I loved that series. I loved when the movie came out. Serpentor. I still think that I think it was for the movie where the Statue of Liberty sequence.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That's still one of the best animated sequences of all time. I was a huge Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow fan. I liked Stalker, and then all of a sudden Stalker just kind of disappeared.
That was weird.
That got written out. I don't know if it was a contract dispute or what, or they had to give what's his name, Flint, some more time.
I know, right?
And it was also weird too, because didn't Don Johnson voice one of the characters in the movie?
Johnson voiced Flint. Sorry, no.
It was Flint's brother, one of the brothers.
Yeah, Lieutenant Falcon. It's Falcon.
Lieutenant Falcon, that's right.
Falcon, yeah.
And that was in the Miami Vice days. So I'm like, how the heck did they afford him?
Well, it was that same situation with Transformers. They needed a bigger name, and it was around the time where it's like you go to a big actor and you're like, it's a kids show, give us a break, and normally they would say yes. These days that doesn't happen. They want their 50 million regardless, right?
Right.
But yeah, Don Johnson probably did it for his kids more than likely. But yeah, I'm on board with Vito. Wings need work, but if you Kit Bash a little bit, you might actually be able to get something really, really nice. Not that he's not nice. I mean, he is really, really cool. But yeah, definitely the wings. I'm on board.
They're lacking.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to cheat here a little bit, but it's still in the same line. What am I at? And this is number 8, right? Or is
Yeah, I think you're at 7.
7, right?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Hold on, let's check it out. So that's number 10,
7.
number 9. No, that's number 8. So this is number 8. Oh, sorry, you mean I'm going to 7? Yes.
7.
Okay.
Yes.
So my number 7 pick is, again, this is my list. I can do what I want. It's actually Once a Man Cobra Commander.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, following in line with the Cobra Law theme, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which does suck. It sucks balls, but this is a must-have figure. I mean, if you are into G.I. Joe lore, if you are into Cobra Commander, which so many people are, this was the lowest point of Cobra Commander's existence, and he turns into a freaking snake and hangs out with Roadblock. I mean, how buddy cop movie is that? That is about as buddy cop movie as you can get. They nearly strangle each other. You know what I mean? It was a really great moment. And of course, the character, the figure itself comes with this freaking snake. It was a complete package, 100%. And the nods to the movie are just everywhere. You know, the helmet falls off. You can actually see the interiors. Everything about this was just a home run. Even the little extras, like they added this little holster for his gun, a little bit of a knife, just to give that added value for an exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con. Waited in line. Oops, went ahead a little bit there. Waited in line for quite a bit to get this guy. And anybody who slept on this, you're missing out, man. Because this was, I don't know if they'll reissue this guy. They probably will at some point, just like they did with Serpentor and with Dr. Mindbender. But for now, anybody trying to get this guy on the open market, you're looking at a pretty penny for this particular figure.
Yeah, that's great. I remember your journey and your trials and tribulations to get this.
It was ridiculous.
It was pretty epic.
Waiting in line. There were 2 lines. One with a pre-approved pass, the other one with no pass, and it was just confusing. You know what? San Diego Comic-Con is a beast, but at the same time, the way they do their line system or even their lottery system is absolute travesty. It's just ridiculous. I've never been a fan of how that works out. Vito, have you ever had to get in line for an action figure before?
Honestly, it's been mostly online at this point. But
yep, pretty much.
I was at San Diego Comic-Con one year, and I had to wait in line for a Blackest Night Hal Jordan figure, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a raffle. You can go into the line as many times as you wanted, but you had to pull a specific ticket out. And if you didn't pull that ticket, you didn't get the opportunity to buy it. And once you were there, you could buy up to 3 of each or something like that.
Yeah, I
had to do that once. And then I think I had Fan Expo. There were a couple here and there. I remember one year we were hunting. I can't remember what it was. I think it was maybe the first Incredible Hulk that was on the retro card from Marvel Legends. It was at Fan Expo one year, and that thing just kind of sold out everywhere. And I remember we raced back every day that weekend to try and be the first ones there, and we never got it at all. And I think that was the last year I was like, I'm never in person lining again.
Yeah. It's really great that they do have opportunities outside of the convention to order online, but some companies just don't participate in that. So this one in particular, you only had 2 chances, either in person or the one day where it was actually available on Hasbro Pulse, and it was gone like that. It was.
And I got mine online. So yeah,
congratulations, brother. That's hold on to him because people are chomping at the bit for this one now because copper blah 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 blah. Yeah, now you want it, right? So,
I'm waiting for Globulus now. I just need Globulus big.
If Globulus has to be
full articulated still. Full articulated. It has to be.
Has to be fully articulated. Has to have his globe, right? His pod, and then has to have a full articulated tail. If it doesn't come with that, it's an absolute fail. So can't wait. And we need Pythona.
Oh yeah.
Like we need Pythona, right? And of course the Elite Guard. We need both of them. We need all of them, right?
What do you think they're waiting for?
Sorry?
What do you think they're waiting for?
They wanted to see what the climate was because and I know this. I know that they've been waiting because this one was controversial when it came out. So many detractors, as they always will, were complaining that he was an exclusive, that he's Cobra Law, ruined G.I. Joe, blah 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 blah. And then when Nemesis Immortal was Nemesis Enforcer, when Nemesis Immortal, when
your mind,
he was,
man, don't worry about it.
I hate that. Anyway, when he was announced, there was actually a bit of a non reaction, and I think that kind of spooked him a little bit. So, but he sold out anyway, so it didn't matter. But it's just that thing with these companies where they want a sure thing these days. So yeah, it's my opinion. Again, it's just an opinion that they weren't really sure how to treat Cobra Law in the G.I. Joe Classified series. So now that they know that people are waiting for Cobra Law, I think that we're gonna start seeing them more now. The thing is that there's a hell of a lot more G.I. Joe figures, as there are hundreds of them, right? So I think that they want to get through a few more before actually getting into more of these characters, which unfortunately will also still be either Hasbro Pulse Color exclusives or oftentimes San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which really sucks.
Right.
So be ready with that finger on the trigger, Vito, because we're gonna have to fight for it.
Yeah. But it's weird how GameStop gets some of this stuff sometimes. Like
it's awesome. It's awesome.
But right, like the Serpentor and Mindbender.
Yeah.
I ended up getting my Mindbender through GameStop.
I went hunting for that Serpentor every freaking day. It was awesome. It was great. We are very fortunate up here that Hasbro has recognized that Canadians are being left out in the lurch a lot, and we're even more fortunate that somehow by some miracle, GameStop has negotiated for these exclusives to come to them. So yeah, that really great whole idea. So we're down to number 6. And I think I already kind of blew it, but this makes it close number 6. It would have been way higher on the list if I wasn't 100% sure it was actually going to reach us. But the reality is, it was supposed to reach us in October, didn't make it. It was supposed to reach us in the beginning of December, is definitely not going to make it. But notices came out yesterday that people should update their addresses because they're going to start coming out. So I have a funny feeling at least a few people are going to receive these. And I am almost certain I'm not going to receive mine until mid-January, maybe even March. But February. But this is something I was hoping to get earlier, and it's got to make my list, obviously. It's the Cat's Lair. This thing is gargantuan. I think I believe, because I've seen this in person, I believe I am correct in saying that this is probably going to be the largest play set, not vehicle. There's a big distinction about that. It's not a vehicle, it's a play set. I believe that this is probably going to be one of the largest play sets ever made. This thing is absolutely massive. If you actually spread out the mountainous range on the left and the right, it's let's just say that when I was standing beside this thing, it made me look small. I mean, like this thing is literally huge.
That thing's massive.
Sorry? Yeah, go ahead.
Is it bigger than Snake Mountain?
It's way bigger than Snake Mountain.
Really?
So Snake Mountain's right beside me.
Yeah.
Right? So Snake Mountain is right beside me. Not only does it beat Snake Mountain in height, it beats Snake Mountain in width. In width, it's absolutely gargantuan. This thing is huge. But you have to open up the mountains in order to make that assertion. The claws themselves are bigger than my hand, and the Cat's Lair head is about the size of a human head. It is absolutely beast. It's absolutely gargantuan. It's absolutely huge. I was able to see this at PowerCon in 2023, and I did a whole Q&A with Brian Flynn, and it was just an incredible look at this beast. And And of course, I'm a massive Thundercats fan, so it didn't matter what the cost was. I was going to buy it, but $700 later, it's finally starting to show up here to people's homes. Hopefully, some people will actually reach it within this year, which is why I was so hesitant to put in the list, but I just put it in the list. It's my list. I don't care. So yeah, had to mention the Cat Slayer.
So the Cat Slayer is $700.
The Cat Slayer is $700. Yeah,
Nice.
and that. Oh, sorry, it was $699, but you had to put in another $100 for the shipping.
That something that big, that makes sense.
Dude, it comes in 2 boxes.
Yeah, it's like the IKEA of toys.
Oh, it's just absolutely bonkers. This was a must-have for any Transformers fan. Like, sorry, a Thundercats fan. I don't know why I said Transformers. It's an absolute must. This is the holy grail of Thundercats collecting. It's not for everybody though. I mean, like, not everyone's going to drop $700 to get this thing, and that's US, by the way.
Awesome. It looks great though.
Yeah, yep. I can't wait for the review, man. Like, it'll be good.
It's coming, and I'm going to spend days on it. Everything lights up too. The Thundercat symbol lights up. The eyes light up. The internals, the monitor screens, they all light up. It's an absolute work of an absolute masterpiece. This literally is the magnum opus of Super 7, in my opinion.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that is, I believe this was number 6 on my list. It would have been much higher if I knew it was actually going to arrive at my door, but it didn't. So, unfortunately, I had to go way down on the list. For my number 5, we're going to go with an absolute classic, in my opinion. Again, this is my list. It doesn't have to be your list. But I've been waiting for this set all my life. When you're a kid, your imagination counts for a lot. But the reality is that we never ever got a version of this in Masters Universe. And finally, we have Cringer and Adam, the two best friends. Oh my God! And I dare say, at this size, this is the most articulated cat that Mattel has ever made. Obviously, there was the Master Universe Classics edition, but that's not Cringer. And the Cringer that we got released in Master Universe Classics was a freaking brick, much like the original Battle Cat that does not move but has a great stance, and of course is just lifted off of the Big Jim line. This is a 100% from the ground up, brand new action figure of Cringer, and it is absolutely adorable. He comes with a slightly worried face and an absolute freaked out face, and of course he has wonderful articulation. Comes with Prince Adam, and this is just an absolute must-have for the Master Universe cartoon collection.
We didn't get
ours.
ours.
Great.
Yeah, we've been waiting for ours to get delivered, but not yet.
He's not going to last. This set is too good. For anybody really. I mean, you can multi-purpose Cringer for multiple things. I mean, like,
Sure.
as a quad-pedal cat, he's just absolutely amazing. And it's my hope that they will actually make an updated version of Battle Cat to coincide with Cringer's release as well. And moving on to my number 4 pick, we are going to go into something way more crossover, way more technical. This is, how can I say this properly? This is basically a Gundam mixed with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. This is the Heat Boys Michelangelo. When I got my hands on this, courtesy of our good friends over at TitanToys.com, I got to tell you, my mind was absolutely blown away. I remember hearing inklings of this. The fact that it's about 30% die-cast. The entire interior skeletal frame is all die-cast. Many of the other pieces are also die-cast, including the chains, some of the weapons. But this is just like a crazy mashup of Gundam and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The articulation on this beast is ridiculous. When you move his knees, they have this articulation feature where this portion here, the knee pad, actually moves out of the way of the knee itself in order to not scratch the paint. Like there's a lot of engineering going on in this thing.
That's crazy.
It is nuts. It is
How
absolutely nuts.
heavy is it?
It is. I would want to say it's just under a pound. It's pretty heavy. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not a couple of ounces, man. This thing's actually pretty hefty. It is a pretty hefty beast. The Gatling gun actually has a rotational battery powered feature. The eyes do light up, and yeah, he's just like armed to the tits. This guy's ridiculous. And like I said, he's really crazy. Now he is not cheap. He's upwards of $260 on Big Bad Toy Store, I think. Last I checked, I could be wrong about that, but well worth it in my opinion. Lots of great engineering, and of course, it's officially licensed from Nickelodeon. And yeah, he's just great. Also, the dreadlocks in the back of Mikey's head, just an absolute wonderful touch to like just to give him that kind of hip hop kind of aspect of him. It's just so much fun with this, and every time like so much rich detail as well. If you look in very closely, you'll see these wonderful tiny little details like this. Do not step here, and you literally have to take your phone, go on macro mode. It's actually 100% readable at that level. Like they put in a lot of love and attention to detail on this one. It's absolutely insane how this thing can do it.
How tall are they?
He is, I want to say, just under 9.5 inches, almost 10 inches. I think maybe slightly taller than that actually. But he's a big boy. He's not small. Yeah, he's massive actually in terms of the lore. So yeah, he's pretty good. And like I said, he's got a lot of hidden features too. Like the breastplate actually lifts up as well. So does the shell. Actually completely comes off, acts as a shield. There's a lot of great features here that we just don't have time to go over, but just a wonderful, incredible figure. Available now on TitanToys.com if anybody's interested in picking them up here in Canada. And of course, I might as well bring them up really quick. TitanToys.com. Heading over there, guys. If you are interested, pick up some of these great figures on TitanToys.com. Wonderful resource for toy news and toys in general. Pick up TMNT Heat Boys. They already have in stock Leonardo, Michelangelo, and coming soon will be Donatello and Raphael. Some really great figures. Leo here is $325.99. That includes tax, so you guys can pick that up. But there are payment plans for interest-free payments of $81.50. So great opportunities to pick up some of these great figures. Mikey here. Again, $299.99. Great figure overall. That's a great price, inclusive of tax, or for interest-free payments of $75. But you can see literally, like this shell here. It looks like a living Gundam. You know what I mean? It's and Evangelion. It has shades of all those. And again, just a wonderful piece overall. Just really great stuff. And then of course you can pre-order Donatello. It's $279.99. That's the pre-order price. So don't sleep on that. A lot of people have been waiting on Donatello. Of course, he is one of the best turtles, if not the best turtle from some of these regards. He's got a railgun here. He's got soft goods on this one, which look great. And yeah, these ones were teased in early 2022. And I think a lot of people were wondering, what the heck are these things? They look absolutely ridiculous.
No, that's great.
And this actually is shades of Death Stranding. This little radar dish here. If anybody's a fan of that game. So yeah, a lot of different. He's even got a freaking drone, man. He's got a little turtle drone. So great stuff. I mean,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And again, who thought that turtles could look this good in a Gundam type scenario? Great stuff. So yeah, guys, if you're interested, definitely check out TitanToys.com. Your one-stop shop for all this stuff. They help out the channel. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, check them out. And of course, they have a whole host of other action figures and SH figure arts. They even got Solid Snake from Figma. This one, $129.99. I think a lot of people are chomping at the bit to pick this guy up as well. He looks freaking amazing. If you are interested in any of the Metal Gear series, I think you really get a kick out of this version of Solid Snake. But yeah, guys, definitely check out TitanToys.com. I'll leave a link in the description below after the show. You guys can definitely check that out. But yeah, Heat Boys Michelangelo, number 4 on my list, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that piece of toy porn, we move on to oh my god, Mondo Lino. I don't know what to say about this. This is an amazing look. I mean, like Super 7 has pretty much owned the Thundercats game forever. And it takes a company like Mondo to come in and just rewrite what an action figure is supposed to look like. They modify pretty much everything that they do. They always put their signature on it. And adding fur to Lionel, I when I first heard about it, I was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" But now looking at it, I'm like, it just makes so much sense. I mean, they're freaking cats.
It's done really well too.
Oh, just absolutely stunning, absolutely ridiculously beautiful. The armor, the design, the hair, the look, the face.
The paint, everything.
Yeah, just updated, just literally a brand new look at a classic design for Lionel. If you look at the palms of his hands, he's actually got cat's.
Yeah, he's got a pad. He's got the pads.
Cat's pads. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of thought and attention to detail that they put into the character. Just absolutely beautiful. Vito, what are your thoughts on Lionel from Mondo?
Oh no, looks great. Looks phenomenal. Is that 1/6?
This is 1/6. Yeah,
it is 1/6. Yeah. Man, I need something like that in 1/12.
Funnily enough, Mondo is starting to get into 1/12. They've announced Master Universe 2000X as well as the Real Ghostbusters, which had a pre-order earlier this year.
Yeah.
So those are coming in early 2025. So a lot of great things, and we're going to see if this one actually comes to 1/12. Unfortunately, I think Super 7 has a lock on that, so we'll see if that license ever starts to run out. The other, it's not really controversial, but funny little inclusion on this, because he had a great pack out, is, of course, what I affectionately call Demon Snarf. A lot of people are he's not really a demon, but when he was photographed the first time, something was up with the lighting, something was up with some of the details, and he did look a little bit, let's just say, strange. But he's a great addition to the character. Comes with the timed edition, and I am just an absolute huge fan of Thundercats. So he was a must-have. This is what the timed edition came with. He comes with a crap ton of stuff. So anybody who was able to pick up the timed edition, you guys were very, very lucky. One of my favorite things is this different look, different take on Lionel, and sort of coincides with the newer edition of the comic book, where some of the Thundercats are a little bit more feral, right? They look a little bit different than their counterparts. So it's really interesting to take a look at different takes on the figures, especially these pads on their hands. I thought that was really, really neat as well.
Yeah, no, it looks super cool. That's a great one.
Absolutely. And one of the things that has never been done before is they have the Coronation Lionel, which I think a lot of fans have been waiting for. And it's a really huge relief to finally see Coronation Lionel being realized in action figure form, along with his cloak and the Book of Omens. 3 different styles for the Sword of Omens: the traditional cartoon style, the Lightning Edition, which obviously is the main weapon, and of course the new modified style of the Sword of Omens. And I think that each of them has its own merits. They look absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's like from sculpt out, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
just beautiful. Huge shout out to everybody involved in making this. It was just a pleasure to see this come to realization. And then we move on. I think I'm on my number 3 pick, if my math is right. Yeah, man, Marshall Bravestar from Ron Play. Yeah, this one.
No, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is freaking awesome. This is awesome. Ramen Toy has been pushing licenses that have been dead forever. And this is definitely one of my favorites. I had the opportunity to play with this, again, thanks to our good friends over at TitanToys.com. Guys, head over to TitanToys.com, type in The Marshal, and you can pick up your very own Ramen Toy edition of Marshall Bravestar. And he comes with a crap ton of stuff, which we're going to take a look at right now. If you were able to actually get in on the pre-order from Ramen Toy, you also got a whole bunch of different exclusives, including the Neutrona rifle, which was huge. It came with the original Bravestar character, but did not come in the retail edition. He also comes with the amulet, which was bestowed upon him when he first received his powers. So strength of the bear, speed of the puma, eyes of the hawk, and ears of the wolf. So that was included with this as a bonus, as well as 2 pieces of Kyrium, which again was not included with any other character that was released. Any other version of this figure that was released. Playing with this guy, I got to tell you, was absolutely amazing. He comes with several different. Moving too far ahead again. He comes with several different accessories, including a shield. He also comes with 2 swappable vests. You can even take the vest off for a more cartoon look. He comes with an additional swappable hat with a visor for infrared detection. Not that he needs it. He also comes with a Neutrona blaster and a tomahawk axe. The character himself is just wonderfully designed. Huge shout out to Ramen Toy for this. Absolutely beautiful. And it is my number 3 pick for best figures of 2024.
Are you excited for 3-0?
3-0 is I am over the moon for 3-0. I am absolutely over the moon.
He looked good.
Oh my god.
Double the
3-0.
size of Marvel, which
have you seen 3-0, Steve?
No.
Let me show it to you.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Vito, gush about it, man, because 3-0 is ridiculous.
Man, like if I don't think he's gonna transform into the horse though.
No, he won't. Unfortunately,
if
not.
that happens, then the engineering on it's got to be like insane. Especially
it's got to be on point. Yeah, it's got to be on point. There's no way.
Easily double the size, and like I saw one version that wasn't as similar to the cartoon. Like it looked a little bulky or something. But there was another image that came out afterwards, and it looked so good. I don't know which image you've seen. But yeah, no, pretty excited for 3-0. Just even if they do only those 2 characters, it's good enough. Like
but we need Tex Hex, man. We need Tex Hex. We need.
Is that it?
Yeah, this is 3-0.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he is ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like
impressive.
This guy is off the charts, man. This guy is just ridiculous. The hair, the sculpt, the overall design. Again, as Vito alluded to, there's no way that they can transform this guy. The engineering would have to be ridiculous. Yeah. And his stature is absolutely insane. And he's carrying good old Sarah Jane. I love this guy. And you know what? In the words of the immortal Bender, you can bite my shiny metal ass. Like he's literally got a metal ass. It is so much fun. Look at the articulation points. They look like gears. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of great things.
So well done, man.
So well done. So well done. Ramen Toy knows what they're doing. And look at Sarah Jane. Like, the additional shells, the cartridges, the reload feature, right? Just ridiculous. And then you stand him right beside Bravestar. He is massive. Absolutely massive.
Makes sense though.
No, 100%. But I'm scared for the price point, but still happy to pay it. No, like bar none. This is a must-have pairing that has to happen. So, and again, the innovations here too. They split Sarah Jane into 2, so you can holster her into these 2 slings. And of course, he has his own satchel pouches, which again are modeled to look and resemble horse saddle carry-ons. You know what I mean? Like a lot of great thought has been put into this character. He obviously is not going to make it in time for our best of 2024, but he's definitely going to be in the running for best of 2025, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. Thank you for reminding me of that, Vito. That was a yeah. I am to say I'm excited is an understatement, to say the least. And the number. Sorry. Before I get to my number one pick, because this I believe this is number two, unless my math is wrong. Probably, but I did want to do some honorable mentions. And coming in, which literally just made it under the radar, has to be the Secret Wars collection from Marvel Legends series. I remember as a kid collecting Secret Wars, and it was just the decoder rings, the lenticulars, just everything about this set is just hitting all the nostalgia hotspots. You know what I mean? Like it's everything you ever wanted to in a collection. The retro cards, the characters themselves, all being redone, and they're just fabulous, right? Absolutely fabulous. I love the lenticulars. I love the fact that we're going to get symbiote Spider-Man in the proper dimensions. The traditional Iron Man's. You know what I mean, with all of his additional features, which of course only came with the original toys back in the day. Brown suit Wolverine, a must-have, but it's that smirk. It's that cheeky little smirk that he's got, an absolute must-have for this character.
There you go. Vito's got it.
There you go. See, Vito's got it.
They did a good job with the arm hair on this one. It's actually sculpted in and it's painted.
Cool.
So if they keep it going like that, Marvel Legends is awesome.
You can pull it back just a tiny bit, and it'll be in focus. Perfect. There we go. Yeah.
So good. He's the right size. He's the right height. You know what I mean?
They did a great job with this one. And the smirk is fantastic.
Yeah, you have to have the smirk, right? I can hear that Australian voice from the cartoon. Great.
Oh yeah,
cartoon imitates life, man. Like seriously, you can't write that shit. The cartoon had an Australian accent. We got a freaking Australian playing a freaking the Wolverine in the movies. You cannot make this crap up. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. And then you have, of course, Captain America with his broken shield, which doesn't make much sense. But I mean, it's a part.
It's part of it, though.
It does exist now. Yeah, it does exist.
Yeah, because I actually have the comic page from the original series.
Yeah,
where his shield gets reconstituted.
Yeah. So good. And then of course you do have Titania, and she's. I don't know. Is she actually a little bit taller, Vito? Because I think she's more or less I think she's the wrong size, right? If I'm not mistaken.
She's definitely taller. She's the full length of the package.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
way taller than I thought she was, but she's slightly smaller than the current retro She-Hulk,
which I think is a little bit of an unfortunate situation because you want to match those two up. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but we'll take what we can get, right? And then a surprise inclusion, which actually ends up being my number. Sorry, this is my number two pick. Because, and it's actually wrong. He should not be in this collection, but what the hell? It's the Beyonder. He should not be here. He should, by all accounts, he should not be here. This is Secret Wars 1, not Secret Wars 2.
Secret Wars 2.
Yeah, so, but I don't care. It's just awesome to have the freaking Beyonder with his leisure suit, man. He's got the freaking
suit. Wait a second. He has the mullet in 2, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. He has the mutton chops.
Doesn't he have the bigger armor?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
So.
I always thought.
Yeah, no.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah. Yes, he's got the bigger shoulder pads. Yeah, but I don't. Did he ever take this form? I thought that this is the Beyonder in Secret Wars 1, right? Because I don't think he showed up in. I don't think this human form, showed up in Secret Wars 1.
No, I think it's only 2. I think you are correct too.
Yeah.
But I remember that he had a mullet or some sort of a mullet in 2.
I thought it was a. No, you know what? I think you're right. He did have a mullet. He had longer hair in the back, right?
Yeah, and he did have that kind of. I don't even know. Like,
it's a leisure suit.
It is, but he also had like this big kind of like
Yeah, the
Earth,
shoulder
Wind and Fire
pads.
type contraption coming out.
Yeah. But it's just fascinating to see him here in this edition, and I just couldn't resist. I mean, this guy, just because of how quirky and how kitschy he is, I had to actually include him as my number 2 because, again, it's a freaking Beyonder, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a freaking Beyonder. He's holding the world he's holding his world in his little hands. You know what I mean? Just
Literally
kind of crazy. As my as my other honorable mention, I have to talk about the Ramen Racer, only because as a loving jab to Hasbro, this is just one of those situations where you've gone a little too far in your pricing structure that somebody else is going to do the job for you. Ramen actually picked up where Hasbro dropped the ball on this one pretty much, and honestly, it's great to see them succeed. I did a full review on this on TitanToys.com, and it was absolutely gorgeous. The attention to detail, everything about it. Each of the fire effects lights up. The lights and sound is incredibly loud, and as an adult collectible, you do appreciate that. The lights can actually go in tune with the sounds of the engine, or they can just stay stationary, full on, and it can also be powered by a wall adapter through the USB cord, or utilize a rechargeable battery, which you have to buy separately. Great overall execution on this, and really filling in the need for some people who did want a Robbie Reyes, Ghost vehicle. It was just amazing. And if you ordered it early enough, if you got in on the early bird, you actually did receive a head sculpt, a swappable head sculpt of Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider. So amazing, absolutely thrilling. You could pop this onto any of your Ghost Rider figures and could just basically complete the look. So wonderful addition and honorable mention on this particular vehicle.
Yeah, it looks great.
A lot of controversy around this too. So it was definitely.
What was the price point?
I think finally when it landed, it was around $259.99, which was, when you think about it, it wasn't that much less than the final asking price of. Actually, wait, I'm trying to remember now. I think the Ramen Race, the Engine Adventures was $349.99. It's hard for me to remember, but basically they came in well under what a lot of people were expecting for this. And I think if you don't, so I think this is how it worked out. If you don't order the Inferno pack, it was as low as $299.99. But with the Inferno pack, it ended up getting an additional $50 more on top. So I think that's how that worked out. So yeah, they did fulfill their promise of making a much cheaper alternative, and a lot of people are very happy with this vehicle. I did a full review on it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I really appreciate this one. This one's cool because you got to do the Blade car. You got to do Fast and Furious Vin Diesel's car. Dominic Toretto. And I think there are attachments coming out now to do the Mad Max.
Yes, it's being sold in 2 flavors. Either you get the entire Ramen Razor as a set by itself with paint deco to reflect the Mad Max car, or I'm not sure if they're going to do this right away, but I believe that they will be selling the Razor parts just to upgrade this vehicle if you decide to go that route. So yeah, wonderful options all around.
Yeah, no, so much fun. This is a fun piece for sure.
Yep. Definitely had to make my honorable mentions for sure. And then again, this is my list. Nobody has to follow this, but this is a tongue-in-cheek thing, more of something. If you follow my channel a lot, my last honorable mention, of course, is Modi the Moat Monster. This is a fun little addition. He was an inclusion with the crowdsourcing project for Master Universe at Eternia, and this guy became a rock star throughout the campaign. People literally were just buying sets just to get this little guy. He actually ended up becoming an official inclusion in the set as part of the Powers of Grayskull, so he is now canonically correct. And this guy literally captured the hearts and the minds and the imaginations of all Master Universe fans, and I had to add him as a honorable mention in the best of 2024. He's just an absolute adorable creature.
That's great.
Again, it's more of an inside joke, but seriously, he really was. He was a rock star, man. Like, he took over the campaign at one point. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Helped to get the playset over the hump, if you will.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
And now for my number one figure of 2024. This should come as no surprise to a lot of people. Transformers, of course, is a huge property. I don't talk about it a lot on my channel because there's so many other channels out there who cover Transformers. But when I found out that this guy was announced, not only myself but Dex, my brother, along with so many other people, just lost our collective minds because the Transformers Siege and all the way up to Earthrise and even Legacy, they've released multiple versions of Optimus Prime, and it just never really hit the mark. But when they announced Studio Series Optimus Prime, everybody lost their collective minds. This thing is ridiculous. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Optimus Prime that we should have gotten in the first place, and I'm so glad that they took the time to make this mini masterpiece and release it to the world, because this thing is absolutely boss. He's the right size. He comes with a full-size trailer, which the original Earthrise version did not. That was a miniative trailer. It looked ridiculous being hooked up to that version of Optimus Prime, who is also diminutive. It was really too small for what he is. Optimus Prime is supposed to be a really, high in stature, commanding respect. And this is the version of Optimus Prime. His overall transformation is so well done. The attention to detail, his articulation is just ridiculous. And he comes with the axe. He comes with all the wonderful features that you expect. The ion blaster, everything about him is just top notch. And it's just another wonderful, tip of the hat to one of the greatest movies for Transformers. And now following that up with Transformers 1, just absolutely incredible.
Excellent. We have a comment though. I guess you left out Blitzway Voltron. That's from
Blitzway
Obi-Wan.
Blitzway Voltron was released 2 years ago. It can't really be part of 2024 if I received that in 2022, at the end of 2022, my friend. That was during the pandemic.
Temporarily ineligible.
This is the best of 2024. Come on.
Vazone did have a comment though. That was Obi-Wan.
That was Obi-Wan.
Quinones.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
but Vazone said, "I can see the horse fit with cosmic legions." Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%.
Well, excellent. That's a great lineup of toys for sure. The one that I was mentioning to you, I think in the green room, was the McFarlane 30th anniversary Spawn. It's a statue.
Yes. Let's see if we can find
them. I guess he's got doing his version of Wakanda Forever, I guess. But that looked really, really good. But I think it's an Al Simmons head sculpt that goes with it.
It was based on it was a variant on one of the issues of Spawn.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a tribute to Chadwick.
Hence the there you go, the Wakanda Forever.
And
all right, makes total sense.
I think it's Al Simmons, but I think the cover of the comic was more Chadwick.
The cover was more Chadwick, yes. Yeah.
But no, that's great. That's a great one.
That looks fantastic.
Wonderful homage, a gold label edition, and again, it's one thing about McFarlane. Their sculpts are definitely on point. People can argue all day long about articulation, such as it is, but at the end of the day, if it's not if it's not a real person, they know how to make freaking action figures. Their movie likenesses are not quite on par. I don't know why. I just don't know why.
Right.
He does monsters really well, the robots really well. The Lobo was phenomenal when that came out with the bike and everything. His scaling is off though.
Yeah,
scaling is off. Like especially those first few waves. They were really bad. Like Harley Quinn was about the same size as Batman. But since then, I'd say this last year, a lot of the releases have been on point. For
the most part, they have been on point, and then for whatever reason, they drop a $300 Joker set, and everybody just decides, "What the hell just happened there, Todd? What the heck, Todd? What happened there? Some Todd slipped on a banana peel right there. That just crap." That one kind of like threw everybody for a loop, but. There you go, everybody. There is the Mega J Retro and of course Comix Asylum's list of the best of the top 10 toys of 2024. And Blitzwave Ultron does not make that list because that was 2022. Obi-Wan,
for sure. Vaz Zone says that Spawn is awesome capture. Glad to have the comic when it came out. Yeah, it was a great cover, and Chadwick still missed, man.
Oh yeah,
still missed for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so now that we've got the toys, and I know that we're running a little bit over, but I'm gonna just kind of hit my animated and movies. I'm kind of just gonna clump them all together. Sure. So for animated, I had X-Men '97, Arcane Season 2, Invincible Season 2. I know it started 2023, but it extended into 2024. And this one I got to show you. It's called Secret Level. I don't know if anyone has seen this.
Secret Level. Great
Secret
stuff.
Level is so good. It's basically Love, Death, and Robots, but for gamers.
Yeah.
And it's like basically having a whole bunch of cutscenes as episodes.
As what's it called? Short films. Short films. They're little short films.
Was Keanu Reeves in one of them?
Hold on a second. Say that again.
Was Keanu Reeves in one of them? Was that the trailer with Keanu Reeves in it?
I'm not sure, but I just watched one with Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get it going here.
But that person who did those things, that's still me. Now that's who I fight. Every hour, every day. I don't always win.
How much would you risk? How hard would you fight? How many lives would you give? Just to discover what you're capable of.
Every moment leads to the next. Every cause and every effect. That's impossible. Doesn't matter what I made you for. This is what you were meant for. Conquest awaits. I can hold it back on my own.
But you're not on your own. All that danger, all those moments, beauty, and even all those painful deaths. It's a new adventure. Just for you.
Nice.
Yeah, some real bangers in there, man. Like some really cool stuff. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it, but I've heard a lot about it. Like, with the upcoming Warhammer series from Henry Cavill, I think a lot of people are getting hyped about that. Same thing with Mega Man, and a lot of those other trailers that are they feel like, again, short films. A lot
Yeah,
of them.
definitely. Like it's as good as Love, Death, and Robots. It's just, as I said earlier, it's for gamers. The stories are great. The animation, the CG is top notch. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
When a few years ago, I think during the pandemic, a series was going around the net called Astartes, which is basically a series of Warhammer 40,000 shorts. And I don't know if this was true or not, but apparently it was just one dude in his basement who was actually making these incredible CG animated shorts, and people just were losing their minds. And it really, I think, was one of the catalysts for Henry Cavill to want to buy the property and make it into an actual animated, into an actual television series. And I think that possibly the guy who was actually making those animations is also involved in that particular small short there. So again, just coming full circle, really.
Yeah, Vito, what'd you think?
Oh, it looks great, and yeah, that was
Keanu.
I saw a trailer. I think it's Armored Core that has.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so that's the one I saw. Yeah, no, I'm totally all over that. Like, this is gonna be a good one. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet though.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to sit down with Dex and just take it in.
Yeah, I like it's between Arcane, and now Secret Level. What they're doing visually, it's unbelievable. So like now you're not constrained with whatever you want to write, you can write, and now they can match the visuals to the imagination, and it's just
what I'm a little bit excited about it, but at the same time I'm trepidatious about it. What's going on with AI is scary right now, and I think. But what I do believe is that in terms of sandboxing, in terms of idea generation and visualization, I think any small director now who has a vision can probably storyboard quickly something and cobble something together for a pitch that actually would probably resonate with an executive producer. You know what I mean? Someone who if you need some money to put something together as a vision, you could probably stand to actually put a couple of guys who are really good at AI, conceptualization, and just because there's a lot of the money which it takes to get a pitch together just comes from the artistry that's required later down the road, right? But in order to get something that you can at least get your foot in the door, sometimes I think that AI can really help move that along quickly. I don't really endorse it. I don't really appreciate it to that level because I personally think that you will never, ever replace an artist, writer, or anybody. AI cannot do that stuff. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to clarify that it's not AI. It is a series of algorithms which it doesn't have every time that you see these freaking videos, it tried to escape. That is complete bullshit. Okay, it's not self-aware. It's nowhere near the like scientists have come forward and just said, yeah, no, these are algorithms which are being used to scour the net for answers. Right, that's how it works. Right, but it does it in fractions of seconds, which is why it seems like it's thinking. It's not really thinking. It's just gathering information. Eventually, we will get to a sort of like intelligence to a certain degree, but right now, it literally is just gathering it, and it's wrong. I would say about 20 to 30% of the time, it finds the wrong information because that's the prevalent information at the time. Fake news, if you will, that's how oftentimes it does actually pick up those things. And of course, you have to correct it sometimes, which is what it is. But I think in terms of idea generation, it does have its place.
I will say that anything that, as an artist, storyboarder, writer, anything that takes away the opportunity for people to make a living doing that I have a problem with.
Sure.
So I'm not conflicted on it and on its use, I'm conflicted on where it gets the data
Yes,
to
100%.
make the
100%.
imagery, right?
And just to be clear, I did not say what I was saying earlier, and I did make a note of it. I was saying just to get to the start line, right?
But even then, that's still taken out of someone else's wheelhouse.
Someone else's work, yes,
Right?
to a certain degree. But in a lot of ways too, and again, I'm not condoning this. All I'm saying is that if I had a vision and I can't draw, right, and I can't do certain things, I think that in terms of getting an idea going and showing it to somebody and saying, "Hey, I love your work. Here's something that AI generated, but I want you on the project." You know what I mean? I think that opens up a door as well. You know what I mean? I'm not really saying that it's the way to go. I'm not really saying that it is, but in terms of spitballing and getting a sort of concept in the minds of people and really getting it across to maybe a decision maker somewhere along that line, I think that it has its place. Whereas at the end of the day, it cannot replace human beings. It cannot replace the real magic makers. And once you get to that stage of after the foot in the door, I think that's when you really start gathering the dream team that you want, because then you'll actually have someone behind you saying, "Okay, how much is it going to cost? Let's see if we can afford that." Right? That's all I'm saying. But I'm just saying that as well, that we're in a time where everything's just moving so quickly, and the opportunities for smaller filmmakers to actually make their mark, absolutely incredible.
For sure. Vito, what are your thoughts on it all?
On the AI stuff, I don't think it has consciousness yet or anything like that.
No Skynet.
Absolutely not.
No, not yet.
No freaking way.
I think like Jay said, right? It could make it easier for me to do things, right? Like, I'm not necessarily an artist or anything like that. It would be cheaper for me to, put together a pitch or a trailer or anything like that. So it's helpful in that regard, right? Where I wouldn't have to spend as much to put together. But, it takes away from the whole experience, right? Like when you're putting together a project, or I imagine in film, and even in a comic, right? Like, just all the ideas coming together, and a lot of ideas end up being very similar. Like it's hard to have an original idea, I think, but it's all of the efforts that go into it, I think, and the creative process, and working with a team, and building upon an idea that kind of makes it unique in a certain sense, right? And if you're just cutting corners and you just 5 minutes, you just bloopity bloop and just move on. Like where's the passion necessarily, right?
Yeah.
And I think passion is a very important piece to solid stories in the end, right? Atrium, for example, I read issue 4, man. It was really great.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, like it was so action packed, and as you've been telling the story, like that it was gonna ramp up and stuff like that, right? And it was pretty much go from the beginning, right? But this last issue was just really, really wow. And it's look at all the time that it's taken you to put that together. Yeah. And once the product is there, right? Like it's a journey in itself, and the product shows and it shines. And I don't think I would have been as impressed if you just copy and paste, colored in with an AI, and that called it a day, right? Like you didn't
or used other artists, like 10% of each artist's work that's out there to create something.
Exactly.
Right, which is just theft, right?
Yeah, no.
But, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. How they're going to regulate it or how they're going to make it work is going to be very interesting. Like they had actor strikes and director strikes because of it. So I think where you run into trouble is like comics. Where does it go from there? Because there's no strong union for those kind of creators, right? Yeah. And you've got people saying that we'll make a graphic novel for you in a couple of clicks, and it's hard.
But I'll be honest with you. Having said that, and I've worked with a whole bunch of teams that are actually doing this, for the better or for worse. You never get what you really want. It's always off. It
You
never.
also end up with like 7 fingers on one hand.
There's the other thing, right? It doesn't actually know what you're trying. Like, no matter how good you are at explaining yourself, it always misses something.
It's
Whether
it's
or not
also too, not to cut you off, it's difficult for a comic because like panel to panel, it sources different stuff, and there's no consistency even on one page.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Storyboarding wise, you can sort of forgive, these little nuances because all you're doing is moving, is trying to explain what's happening in the next scene. But when you're getting to the point where you need to be very specific and very consistent, AI is not there at all. It does not know how to do these things. It's getting way better at certain things, but even then, you're not going to get what you want. You're not. The human beings know how to make these things work. Performances are done by actors for a reason because we believe in what they're doing. For stupid reason, AI cannot get over the fact that it's in 1947 and the freaking film grain just does not want to freaking move. I did not understand how Panavision 1920 is ingrained. I don't know. Like, I didn't know there were that many films out there that for it to reference that. So it is just a weird conundrum of what it can actually source, and that actually I think is the advantage that all human beings have over artificial intelligence because we can actually think. This thing is not intelligent. It is stupid as hell. It is
still ones and zeros.
It is just gathering information. That's all it is. The quantum computing, which apparently exists in 6 different planes or whatever the hell it does. I'll wait for that. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. So, what did you guys enjoy watching animated wise in 2024? You don't have to name a whole bunch, but just, your 1 or 2 ones you're like, I binged this or I couldn't wait for it to come out week to week.
I watched the DC Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy.
Right.
Watching the first couple of movies, like it was just kind of like hit or miss. I saw that they took liberties and stuff like that. But it was the wrap up right at the end that really got me. It connected itself all the way back to like pretty much the beginning of the DC animated movies. And that just kind of like, it just blew my mind. And that's the kind of stuff that like I really dig. Animation wise, like, I want to see Creature Commandos. I need to see that.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet.
But yeah, no, I not too many. Like I need to watch Arcane. I need to watch Blue Eye Samurai. Apparently that's like
I've heard really good things about that.
That's last year, but man, it's so good.
Yeah, so I'm a bit
good.
behind. I'm a bit behind on my anime watching, to be honest, right now. I've been keeping it old school, to be honest. Just
nothing wrong with that.
And, watching some like Mazinger Z, Devilman. Fist of the North Star.
Yep.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that kind of stuff.
The original. Great
Lupin
stuff.
the Third. Like I'm
totally.
I'm like so old school. It's not even funny.
90s anime rocks. I don't care.
You know what I haven't watched in forever, but I have to go back and watch it. Is Ninja Scroll. I have to go back and watch Ninja Scroll.
Great stuff.
Like I have the VHS.
Phenomenal.
You gotta upgrade to the Blu-ray because it's beautiful. Anything by Madhouse. Madhouse is just rocks. Madhouse rocks.
Yeah. And Jay, anything for you?
Definitely. What's Invincible definitely is up there. As you said, it's sort of a cross barrier thing, but it doesn't matter. It's still the same. But for me, definitely, I have to put in Master Universe Revolution. Just an absolute return to form for a lot of people. It's such a short series. It really needed another season, but the revelation of that in the Revolution was just so compelling, and it left it off on a great cliffhanger for anybody who watched it. Not sure if it's going to get a 3rd season. Would really be great if it did, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But really great overall in terms of Master Universe lore. And just looking forward to the next one. Other than that, anime, not really much that I could really tell you off the top of the hat. I mean, My Hero Academia, all these ongoing series, they just keep going on and on and on, which is fine.
Right.
But yeah, a couple ones I did want to keep my eye on. I mean, there's some Grappler Baki. I mean, that thing, I see clips of that everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. And the brutal nature of it, very much JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but no stands, you know what I mean? But
Got it.
just Hokuto no Ken, really, actually. Very much Fist of the North Star in its over execution. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of those types of stories, and even these tiny little tales, all these cooking shows in anime where they're coming from different dimensions just to try one dude's freaking cooking. I think that's fascinating. I always enjoy those little quirky animes. And then there's just the regular life anime, where it's just a dude and just going about his life. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that in real life now with YouTube and stuff. So
yeah, definitely. All right, so I'm gonna put all my live action together. I'm just gonna list it, TV and film. So live action, it was Agatha All Along, Fallout, Shogun, and something called Supercell. And then for the movies, it was Dune Part 2, Alien Romulus, Furiosa, and Wolverine Deadpool. Wolverine Deadpool was the greatest fan film ever. It's like walking into a buffet, and they've got all of your favorite dishes, and even ones you were like, they got that one too. Oh my god! Right? It was fantastic. But I think superhero movies are going to get a lot of flack. They're going to continue to get a lot of flack for various reasons, right? But that movie proved that if you just do it right and you take the fans into consideration and then you make it with some heart, you're going to win all the time. And also to have banger characters. Got to have banger characters. If you don't have banger characters, then it doesn't matter. Right? It's just an uphill battle. Yeah. Like I love Marvel Comics, I love DC Comics, but there's certain rosters of characters that I want to see, and others that I don't want to see. I don't want to see a Teen Titans movie without the Garfield, Logan, Vic Stone, Nightwing, Coriander, Troya. Like those are the characters I want to see. Flash, right? And I think that if we'll see what is it, Brave New World? We'll see what that does. We'll also see what Thunderbolts does. We'll see what Superman does in 2025. But just go back to that roadmap, and you're good.
Yeah,
that Deadpool laid out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I forgot to mention. Transformers 1 was actually on my anime.
See, I have to see that one. I didn't get a chance to watch that.
Yeah.
That's one I do want to see. Yeah, because I only heard really good things about it.
Amazing. You have to see it. You really do.
Yeah. So good. Well, gentlemen, this was a fantastic evening. Vito, I want to thank you for coming by the Asylum and chopping it up with Mega J and myself. Great way to end a fantastic year. Jay, this has been great.
But Vito, did you have any live action lists at all? Like anything you were looking forward to?
Just a few things I kind of watched. I saw the last Hellboy movie.
Oh, really? How was it?
I have mixed emotions about
that pause. That pause was enough.
I know.
It was. I think it needs the lower budget. I think for certain properties like Hellboy, I think it needs the lower budget. I think it felt a little bit more raw, like it kind of cheesier in certain aspects, but I think it suited the Hellboy character really well, and them just kind of like just putting it out, like it didn't feel like it had as much passion as, let's say, the Del Toro stuff.
The Del Toro,
like, those were just spectacles to a certain extent, but definitely better than. Is
this the one with the Stranger Things guy, or is it
no? It's the one after this one.
I didn't know there was another. I didn't know there was another.
Yeah, it was. Did it go? Vito, was it straight to Netflix or Prime or something?
Straight to digital and Blu-ray.
Really?
Yeah, they avoided the movie theater. They knew like it wasn't going to.
It was after David Harbour, because David Harbour did the one a few years ago.
Yeah,
and that's the
one
guy
I
from
remember.
Stranger Things.
Yeah,
and Thunderbolts.
I think this newer one is better than that.
So is it a TV series or is it just a movie?
No, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Really?
But yeah, it has a lower budget, and again, like I think it suits it well. Like I think for some of these properties, like Hellboy, like yeah, just have a smaller budget and just tell a good story. And I think they did a good job. Right? Could it have been better? Good. Sure. Like if you're gonna compare it to like Deadpool, Wolverine, like of course, like it could have been more something, but yeah, it felt a little bit more intimate, and you know the actors in it, they didn't necessarily have all of the ego and the baggage that like some of the other actors that have played repeat characters. So it was kind of nice. Like, but again, to a certain extent, I could have used a little bit more of the magic and a little bit more of the CGI, but I appreciated it. Agatha all along, I really liked the first half. I really appreciated the ending. But I think I wanted that one to be a little bit darker as well. Like they're all witches and stuff like that. Like I would have really liked to have seen some layers of like some really dark stuff, especially for Agatha, who she is and what she represents, and the levels of treachery she'll go through, to just get what she wants in the end.
Catherine Hahn's like just imminently watchable. Like she's really good at what she does at her craft, and I agree with you. Sorry, Jay. Just let me add this one point. It's a bit of a spoiler, but Aubrey Plaza should have been darker.
Yes. Yeah.
Considering who she was.
Yeah.
So I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was still good. It was
enjoyable.
Still fun.
Absolutely enjoyable.
And it connected to WandaVision and all of that jazz. So it's just a continuing story that's evolving, right? And I appreciate that about the Marvel stuff. So but Deadpool, Wolverine, #1 right across the board. Yeah.
Excellent.
I needed that movie to get the way that it did.
I think a lot of people needed it.
Yeah.
I was just gonna make a joke that I'd say, I loved her cowboy commercials. I thought those were hilarious. But
I don't even know what you're talking about.
She had this running YouTube. She had this weird little collection of YouTube commercials, which were, I think it was an insurance company or something like that. She was literally just a cowgirl, talking about insurance. It was just I don't know if anybody can find it, but it was a fun little run. Right after, I think Vito knows what I'm talking about, but it was this fun little run that she had. Yeah, you've seen them, right? It's just a weird, quirky cowboy setting, and it was just so weird looking at her. And you're like, isn't that the girl from, WandaVision? And you're like, okay, that's weird. But for me, this is not very popular, but especially because I'm such a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I thought that, and I still do think that The Rings of Power is a great fan fiction. Like, just like you said, Steve, it's not canonical. It's not Lord of the Rings at all. It has shades of Lord of the Rings. It does reference a lot of things that do happen in the books and the Silmarillion, but it is a spectacle. The amount of money they put into this freaking show is just stupid. Like at one point it was reported it was $1 million an episode. It's like
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount of money for a television series. It's just crazy. And the second season they had to rein that in. It was just bad, right? But the second series still had the same spectacle. Funny how they, with less money, can still do the same visual effects. It's great stuff. And for what it was, I thought it was actually really good. You have to literally detach yourself. It's not Lord of the Rings. You got to get that out of your mind. Just watch it and just drop your brain off at the door. If you're drop your Lord of the Rings brain off at the door, and you will enjoy it to a certain degree. At least, oh, sorry guys, that must have hurt. At the very least, the visual spectacle of it all. Just the way the rings are created, the overall look of the show, the look of Numenor, the look of the look of the dwarven caves. Everything about it is just gorgeous, right? And the score is just beautiful too. So I really took away a lot from that. I loved Dune 2. I thought the ending was a bit interesting because again they changed a few things around, right? Looking forward to Dune 3 if it ever gets made. Again, another wonderful visual spectacle on that one too.
Denis Villeneuve, man.
Incredible. I really did enjoy it, like everybody did. Deadpool and Wolverine, just a wonderful show overall. I had one more. I was really thinking about it just earlier, but I kind of now I'm sort of drawing a blank. But yeah, a lot of great shows that came out this year. What was that last show that I literally just watched it? And it was actually really.
What's the genre?
I'm trying to remember. Hold on, let me think. Oh, that's right, Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew is for.
Skeleton Crew. That's on mine too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
freaking awesome. Just a great return to form.
It's fun. It's just fun. It's just fun to watch.
Goonies in space. How can you go wrong with Goonies in space?
And as a former teacher, like I could point every one of those kids. Every one of the kids, I'm like, yeah, I taught one of them. 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 Absolutely. So it's kind of like a little nostalgia for me.
100%.
I think one kid that won't. I don't know. Everything he just runs headlong into it head first. He makes me laugh, man. He's hilarious.
Yeah. He's cool. He's like we've all been there. We've all got lost. We've all gotten in trouble. And you know what? It's a great look back at what Star Wars is supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be a fun adventure. You know, going out into the unknown and coming back out. You know, probably a little bit wiser, a little bit more. Bruised and beaten, but at the end of the day, it has a great story to tell to everybody in the playground. So
definitely good to know. Good to know, because I've heard nothing but bad things. But like I think that's just people are complaining.
It's acolyte shade that's being thrown on it.
Just like Master Universe Revolution, there are people just want to hate it.
Yeah,
people just don't. Anybody. Okay, and you know what? You can come at me if you want. I think everybody really hates to admit it, but they loved The Force Awakens. I think everybody, because you know what, the first time around, so many people were like, I watched it 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
That's the first of the Rey movies.
The very first of the new Rey films, right? Yeah. I think everybody had what's it called? They after about the third or fourth watch, people started realizing, look, it is just a rehash of Star Wars, right, from before. Yeah. And they were just guilty. They felt fucking guilty that they enjoyed it so much. But the reality is, that's what it was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be another freaking Star Wars film. It's just not what it is. Yeah. And maybe if you got to the second, if you let Abrams actually do the second film, maybe you wouldn't have gotten the film that we got. But instead, you basically force him out of the freaking director's chair. You basically shame him out of it. So he said, okay, screw it, I'm out. And guess who comes in? Somebody who absolutely destroys anything that resembles Star Wars. And then he has to come back and try to piece together all whatever's left. And man, we got one hell of a roller coaster. Like pacing was completely off. It was bang, 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 bang. It was literally like a shotgun movie. I couldn't believe how fast that freaking movie went. Right? And now where are we? We're unsure if we're going to get another Star Wars film. If anybody even wants another Star Wars film. Yeah. I think Star Wars is doing better as a TV series. I'm so looking forward to Andor. Andor is going to kick ass, man. Andor, I love Andor.
I have to actually go back and watch
Andor's
the first one.
Andor's killer.
Because I haven't seen Andor.
You have to watch it.
I've heard it's fantastic.
Andor's fantastic.
I was too busy doing nature to watch it.
There are some episodes you're like, what the fuck? Right? Like seriously, there are some episodes where like, the hell just happened there? But for the most part, Andor is fantastic. And I can't wait to see Luthen Rial and all those guys just come back and do it all over again. Because it was
Did you guys like Acolyte?
I got through the second episode and I sort of just said, I don't know.
I kind of liked it. Like I watched it with my wife, but you know what we watched before? There was some like Amazon, like straight to Amazon original, and I think it was called like Beacon 23.
Okay.
And we watched this show, and it's like essentially like it's a lighthouse in space, where all this bizarre stuff is happening on it.
Is it British or?
No, it's American, and I
Okay.
think Lena Headey is in it.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great, 100%. I
Yeah,
saw her and I was like,
mother
we gotta
from
watch this.
Judge Dredd. Yeah.
But it was so bad. It like the show was bad. Just everything that was going on was just kind of like confusing. It didn't help that I kept falling asleep on it and waking up at like weird parts. But we watched this show, and we were like, okay, we got to stop watching it. And then we went straight into the Acolyte, and Acolyte was just phenomenal compared to So we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it so much, right? And then everybody was complaining about it, and I still don't really understand.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my take on that. I wanted to continue watching The Acolyte. The problem is that I got busy, right? And for me, there just wasn't like I have a 3-episode rule, and I was just going to mention that. I was just going to mention that. Steve knows me too well. I have a 3-episode rule. I didn't make it to 3, but not because I didn't want to, because I got too busy. And I can do it now. And here's the problem with my mind right now. I'm like, I can watch it later. I can watch it anytime. I can watch it. Basically, that's where my mind is right now. I want to finish it because I've heard I've heard it's got great fight scenes. I heard that for the most part, up until the last couple episodes, it really has. It was going somewhere. What I've heard is it was going somewhere, and they sort of like lost its way. I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is. But I'm happy to take another stab at it. One of these days. I always come back to things. Right, but the reality is, right now, I just have too many things on the plate to really sit down. Like I like what's going on. I always like when new series come on because I can enjoy it for half an hour. I can go back to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But if I'm gonna binge watch something, I have to dedicate a whole freaking weekend to it. It's just that weird situation I'm in. So that's why I was able to finish Ahsoka. I was able to finish, so many different things, and I didn't mind Ahsoka. I thought Ahsoka was actually okay up until, again, for whatever reason, they start off great. But they don't know how to finish these series, or they want to leave it at a cliffhanger, which just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, I don't know where they were going with Ahsoka, right? And the way they left it off, it's like, and then it doesn't help that somebody died. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? Like, he was a great actor, by the way.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson. Yeah,
Ray Stevens. Yeah, Ray Stevens is a great actor. It's a lost of the community, just crazy. So, but yeah, no, I'll give Acolyte another try. I will, but. If you guys haven't seen Andor, you got to watch it. That is a great series.
Acolyte, I think, suffered from the same thing that Force Awakens did. And I think we might have touched on this last week. Jay, is that Vader is amazing because Vader is mysterious.
Yeah, Vader is.
And for me, it has nothing to do with the actor. But as soon as whatever the Sith was took his mask off, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
And it just loses. Like I almost would have preferred that to happen later, right? And I like the lead. Like the thing is, Disney does well with their casting, and that's not the issue. I think for me, where I kind of lost with the Acolyte, were there was some inconsistencies with the Jedi power, like the strength of the stuff they could do. When you find out what the conflict, what the centering, the major conflict point is, you're like, after watching Jedis for 30 years, you're like, really? You couldn't have done this and this and this to solve the situation? It was like kind of weird.
Yeah.
But how many shows do we watch where those things kind of trip up? So
the problem is that every new writer and every new creator wants to put their mark on something, right? So they feel the need to try something, right? It doesn't always hit, right? I mean, every now and then you'll come up with a cool little concept. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the one thing I sort of did like out of what was the second movie called? It's not the Rise of Skywalker. It's the there was the Force Awakens. What was the next one? It was
Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
The one thing I kind of really enjoyed about The Last Jedi was the idea of force projection. I thought that was actually kind of neat.
Jay, where did his hand go?
Huh?
Where did his hand go?
Where did his hand go?
Where did his hand go? Like his hand should have his hands like robotic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It should have been. It should have been disappeared. It should have been.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that part of but I think it's a projection of self. I think it's a projection of self, right?
Yeah, he forced
right?
everything.
Yeah, it's a thing. But uh, it's my understanding. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's my understanding that actually was a takeaway from early writings of what
Lucas had done.
what not Lucas what Abrams was actually trying to do. I think there's some there. I'm not sure if it's 100% real or not, but I think that one of the biggest hangups with a lot of the fans is that, how is it raised so powerful, right off the bat. But I think that the original concept, again, I heard this somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but I think the original concept was that Luke was actually guiding her through force projection, and really just guiding her movements through that. I think that was supposed to carry over to the next film, and that's where the big revelation was supposed to happen. But nobody wanted it to happen. Everyone was upset, and they're like, "No, she's too strong." Even Luke didn't have these types of powers.
And Leia passed away too, right? So Carrie Fisher passed. So
that was
they had to do a lot of changes and stuff.
I feel sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like with The Last Jedi, it was a surrounding, like what they did with Poe and what they did with Finn, right? Like Finn was a phenomenal character in Force Awakens. I really liked him a lot. And then you like the lightsaber at the end, and it's like,
absolutely.
How did he not end up with a lightsaber throughout the whole thing?
They were setting it up so well.
Like, I don't understand. He was a bumbling fool, like in the second one, and by the third one, it's like they kind of lost control of who they were building, in my opinion. And so with Poe, the slowest space chase in film history.
I say it all the time. I say it all the time. The slowest race in history, man. It's the slowest chase. The slowest chase in history. Literally, it was like, what are you guys trying to accomplish?
Exactly. And so
no Kessel Run, eh?
Yeah, but then they completely divert off of that idea and go to a casino. What the hell are you guys doing?
Dude, part 3, there were horses in space.
That was awesome, though. Come on,
there were horses galloping on the outside of the Death Star or whatever it was, right? It's
I'm so glad I still haven't watched that.
That was just stupid enough to be cool, man.
I was like.
Isn't that when Leia Force basically did a Cara L or whatever?
No, that was the second.
Those two when she flew into the thing.
And so I think
she literally zoomed herself back to the ship.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to get on YouTube. I just need to see that.
I don't know what she grabbed onto, but she
didn't freeze in space.
She ziplined right back to the ship. She Batman. She literally grapple hooked herself back onto the freaking.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Star Wars is supposed to be stupid, man. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be this, but there's only so much suspension of disbelief you can do before it just gets ridiculous. You went right back to the Force. You went right to the dark side. How dare you? What's wrong with you? You had no parents. They're already dead.
That's why she can be that powerful, though. She's Palpatine's granddaughter.
I know, right? I think that was always in the mix somewhere, but it just they couldn't connect the dots the way they did it, man. It was just whatever.
It's all right. So one thing for 2025. Give me one thing you're looking forward to for 2025, Vito. Could be a show. It could be a book. It could be a series.
I really wanted a solid Red Sonja movie. Like I really, you know what? You like, there you go. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, and from when they announced it, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, however long it's been now, right? Like, it feels like it's just not gonna, like, I don't know. Like, I think Hellboy is gonna be a better movie than Red Sonja in the end. So I wanted that. Superman, of course, is at the top of the list. I'm looking forward to that one. Stranger Things.
Oh, good call. Yeah. I can't wait to see how they finish that off.
So I think if they can nail Stranger Things, I think I can look at a complete series and just be truly happy with the beginning and the end. And like, I really hope they nail that one, right? Superman, I'm expecting it to be a beginning to everything, so I'm not really expecting much. I think, and I think that's just personal keeping the expectation low.
That's fair.
Yeah. Those I really want a good Red Sonja more than anything.
Okay. Well, let's cross our fingers on that one. Jay, what do you got?
I would like to say
universe.
That's 2026.
You know me too well. You know me.
I know it's 2026, but you know.
Yeah, Steve knows what I'm going to say too. Look, Idris Elba can't save this. Okay, like seriously, like I want so badly. I want so badly for this to be a good movie, but it's not going to be a good movie. It's not going to be a movie, and I'm still in doubt that it's even going to get made. I
even with what's her name? Oh gosh,
Eva Mendes or
no, Alison Brie.
Even else, dude. None of these actors can save this. Okay, the moment they brought it back to Earth, it was already done. All right, it was over. Yeah. The moment they say that Prince Adam grew up on Earth and has to go back to Eternia, you killed it. All right, you freaking killed it. Why would somebody who grew up on a freaking different planet fight for another planet? It doesn't make any freaking sense. Okay, A, B. I'm sorry. Every single production of like it's been in development hell. What 12 times, 13 times? I can't even count anymore. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Gary Goddard did it right the first time, and that was a mistake. All right, I love Master Universe, the motion picture, for all the wrong reasons, but I still freaking love it. Okay, He-Man is supposed to be bigger than Dolph Lundgren. Okay, He-Man is supposed to be freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, that's supposed to be He-Man. And by the way, Vito, Conan the King needs to be made, and it'll never be made because Arnold Schwarzenegger now needs to be the older King Conan. And I'm sorry, but Jason Momoa is not Conan. He is some surfer dude who should not be taking his shirt off. Maybe he might have been able to do it now that he's freaking jacked as shit. But the reality is that you need a Scandinavian to play Conan the Barbarian. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. It's the truth. And
I'm with you.
whichever way you write that, it's going to end up in the same place. Okay, like take one of the take one of the what are this Stalgards? Huh?
Well, yeah, but look at Vikings. Look at the show Vikings.
This is what I'm trying to say, though.
There's tons of people that you could find. Let's put it this way: just like how we didn't know who Arnold was,
just grab one.
Find an unknown who's massive.
Sure, fine, but who can act? Okay, like I said, one of the Stalgard brothers, man. One of the freaking those freaking beasts.
Skarsgård? Skarsgård.
One of those guys.
They're not big enough,
dude. They can be.
I'm sure they got a cousin. They got a cousin or somebody.
They can easily be that big. Have you seen what was that stupid movie? The Outlander or something like that, or he just did a movie recently where he kills everybody. Like his family gets slaughtered and he ends up going and I don't think that's a Skarsgård movie. I thought he was. No, you're right. It was.
I don't think a Skarsgård was in that.
It was the dude who did Tarzan. I'm sorry, wrong guy.
Skarsgård is the guy who did Tarzan.
Yeah, that is a Skarsgård, right?
Yeah.
What movie?
I think you're talking about Norseman.
Yes, Norseman.
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't that Skarsgård? I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it is.
Norseman is Skarsgård. Yeah.
Dude, he was jacked in that. Like he wasn't like ripped, but he was.
He's lean though. Huge. Like, he's lean.
I know, but think about it.
He would have to Hemsworth by 3.
Like I said, you pump him full of some juice, he's fine. I mean, seriously, everything comes down to juice, bro. Everything comes down.
Says Mega J.
Take him over whoever they cast now.
No, he's great though. He's a great actor, man. He's great.
What's it called? Chris Evans has to get back on the juice because he's got that surfer body too, man. Like that's just the way it works, man. Come on, seriously. You don't get the size of freaking Captain America by freaking eating rice.
Hard, Look at Hugh Jackman, how he's like, oh, I got to do this again.
Yeah.
Dude, I got what is it, like 32,000 calories of just boiled chicken and broccoli?
That's sauce, but he got ripped, bro.
That's hard, he got ripped. That's hard.
He got ripped. He was dying. You know what? He was so dry that night. He was like, well, it was exactly the same situation it was in Days of Future Past. That bro could not move. He was on that bed. He was like, oh God, don't make me get up. And he gets up. He has to freaking act. And he's got a flex, and he's like, after this, I'm drinking all the water I can. The guy was dry as fuck. He was he was dead. If he had done any more movements than like swinging his arm a little bit, he would have collapsed. He's like those bodybuilders that get up on stage to flex a little bit and literally have to get little thimbles of water to slowly rehydrate.
Get the IV unit going with the
Dude,
drip.
he was totally diuretics and everything. He was so dry, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely nuts.
Man,
And he suffered for the cause, and we love him
we
for
love
it.
him for it.
That's how that works. That's how that works.
Most def. All right, so Masters of the Universe. Anything else, or
Like I said,
singular focus?
Code of the King, which is never going to happen.
Code of the
Okay,
King.
so you know, like he's been promising that to us for decades, right? Same thing.
Right.
I want to see a Dune 3. Never going to happen as well. Probably not for another 2 years because that's how long it takes with Dune. But yeah, no, I'd love to see a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know, can't wait until I get my Cat Slayer. Can't wait until you know, the next HasLab, which is going to drain everybody's bank account one more time. You know, so many different things. Looking forward to 2025, and I really am hoping and wishing for everybody who's in a different conflict situation out there, you know, in every part of the world, all the best. You know, anybody who has family, you know, suffering from any of that kind of stuff, guys. You know, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and I hope that they all come to a quick resolution very, very soon with the optimal results, because things are good. Things are getting crazy out there, guys. Things are getting absolutely nuts. I mean, you know, smash and grabs are just on the rise right now. It's just stupid. And you know what? Come better or worse, Canada's gonna get a new government, man. I'm sorry. That's I'm putting it out there. It doesn't matter. Somebody come in. It doesn't like at this point, whoever it is. Let's just get back on track. I want to eat some meat, man. Like seriously, just give me a cow. All I want is one cow. Give me one cow. All right, I'll ration it if I have to. We'll figure something out.
I hope you got a big freezer.
I'll make it happen, man. You want to chop something up? We'll chop it up, bro. We'll chop it up. I'll store it at your place. We'll store it at my mom's place. We'll store it wherever we can.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I was meant to eat meat, okay, like freaking burgers or whatever.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, for me, like you said, health and prosperity to everybody. Any kind of conflicts done. When it comes to the stuff that we do, which is pop culture, I'm hoping that LCSs and the comic book industry rebounds. So it's back to healthy times, and whatever inflationary kind of things that were kind of getting in the way, they work out. I'm hoping that the situation with Diamond gets sorted. I'm not sure there's a solution to that, but I know that that's integral to the lifeblood and health of LCSs, because you know shipments are late, and you know people are leaving in terms of like going over to Luna and stuff. So I hope that works out. I hope the con season's great. I'm looking forward to a few projects, not my own specifically, but stuff that's out there. Like I can't wait for, as Jay said, Dune. Shows like Foundation. I can't wait for those to come back. I can't wait for Invincible 3, that season 3. That's going to be fun. And I just hope that, you know, entertainment and stuff is it's like it's healthy, and people that are in it are able to make a living wage, and that we're all kind of entertained by whatever gets made. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, Vito, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Wrapping up 2024 with you, and moving on into 2025. Anything that is coming to the store, or any sales or events that you guys are going to have coming to Red Nails in the next little while that you might want to share?
To be honest, I'm not sure what we're doing. This whole tax thing kind of threw everything for a loop, so I'm not really sure where anybody's standing on anything. But you know, we should be doing some sort of Boxing Day stuff, and he generally keeps things going into the new year, so hopefully it's still the same. But yeah, no, I guess maybe you back at the shop, you know, promoting the trade if you want.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're down for anything like
fantastic. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
we do that
doing that
again.
in 2025. It's a great store. Anyone who is in the Toronto area near Bloor and Jane, you got to come to this store. It's Red Nails 2 is a great shop, great staff, good collection of books, and you can even, you know, like I did with the Pedestrian, get a tip or two from some of the patrons, and find out what's hot and what's a good read. So please come down to the store, check it out. And, you know, one other thing. Anyone who has a pull list, get your books before the end of the year, because the stores need to get their pull list emptied, right? Don't leave the books in the hands of the retailers. So
Yeah.
empty your pull list for 2024, and then you can start again in 2025.
Yeah, very kind. Yeah, come pick up your stuff. Come.
Said in the nicest way possible.
That's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. This was great. This was so much fun. I appreciate you thinking of me, Steve, and wanting me around. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
Jay,
sure.
it was awesome meeting you. I've been
Likewise.
watching you for the last few years on YouTube, and
Really? Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
man, like, yeah, no, totally.
Jay's a
Like,
legend.
I'm hardcore into the action figure world right now, and you know, between you and Hatter and Nostalgia Unboxed right now, and even Ramen Toys, like, you guys are like really carving a solid corner in the community, and yeah, you're doing great stuff, man. So I appreciate everything, and learning lots from you guys too. So
thank you, brother. Like, you know what, that means a lot, really. It means the world to me. It's been a crazy year for YouTube, for all of us, and it's guys like you know, who you know, give us the feedback and appreciate what we do. You know, it goes a long way. Like, a lot of people don't realize just how crazy it can be with these you know, with this type of stuff. But yeah, we really appreciate everyone who watches the show and you know, tries to make it easier for us to reach out and help you know, with some news, man. Because, like, a lot of times you know, store you know, employees like yourself and store owners, you guys are the lifeblood of everything that happens out there. If it wasn't for you guys and you know, supporting smaller independent store owners, you know, and the employees who work there, you know, it's all thanks to you guys that we do this stuff, and it means the world to us whenever you say something like, you know, I love your show, and you know, again, it's one of these things. Everyone's like, oh, I love your show, I'm like, I'm shocked. To this day, I'm still shocked that people watch me. You know what I mean? So whenever somebody says that, I'm like, wow, that's deep. That means a lot to me. So thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. You guys, like, and you too, Steve, like, with your podcast and everything, you guys are working hard, and it shows. And
thank you.
You know, just the overall feedback that you guys are getting is really genuine, and so you guys should feel really good about what you guys are doing, and yeah, just keep it up. I'm excited for Atrium 5. I'm excited for the Thundercats review, the Lair review, right? And you know, like, between, you know, like, all of us on a certain level, like, we all belong to the same community, and you know,
absolutely,
with what Steve's putting out, with what you're putting out, like, we have stuff in our store, right? And you know, your reviews are so helpful, and the information that's coming out, right? Not everybody knows where to get this stuff, or even that half the stuff exists, right? Or, you know, all the interviews that you guys have been doing, right? Like, you guys are talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people that deserve the attention, and no, it's really solid. Yeah, no, keep it up, guys. Yeah,
no, appreciate it, absolutely.
Yeah, always. And again, thank you so much for having me on the show. Yeah,
and you're always welcome to come back whenever you're ready, or if there's something like, I gotta talk about this,
yeah,
just drop us a line, let us know.
Anytime you need a spot to fill, like, I'll be here. Yeah,
you're always welcome, my friend. Always.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Jay.
Really appreciate the kind words as well. And yeah, looking forward to 2025, man. And yeah, brother, it's been a great year for sure.
Yeah, it's been good. It was a good time.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a little bit of a holiday break. We'll see everyone back in a couple of weeks. I guess that will be 2025. I guess 2 weeks from now. So we're gonna let everyone enjoy the holidays, enjoy New Year's, stay safe, everybody. You know, enjoy time with your family and your friends, and you know, and if you're getting some good collectibles and some good comics, enjoy reading them and enjoy opening them and you know, stashing them on your shelves. So thanks again for an awesome year. You know, we just started the live stream and it's been great. I think this is like our 20th or 21st episode together, Jay. So this is great, and looking forward to, you know, a ton more next year. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has, you know, commented, tuned in, watched it after it's been uploaded. Your support is invaluable, and you're the reason why we do this. So thank you very
I got
much.
a-
from the bottom of my
I got a quick little treat
Yeah.
for Vito.
Sure.
Something
Rock
we've been
and roll.
working on, but you know what? Since he's here,
Yeah.
might as well show this off. This is going to be a wonderful little treat for everybody. This isn't 100% done, but I think you guys might get a kick out of this. And this is just to celebrate 2025 coming up, and of course, Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates it. Let's have a quick peek at something that we're going to be debuting really very soon on That Figures. Have a look, guys. You want to throw that up there, Steve? You might recognize this place.
Did you see it?
When there's nothing that's left to lose, there's only one thing that's left to do. Break away from your constraints and say what's on your mind. When the world is about to fall and you think you might lose it all, run away or they will try to make you stay in line. No way you should fold under pressure. Get away or they're gonna try to test ya. It's gonna take more than that to impress ya. Stare them in the face, tell them you can't stop me. Forget them all, it's a story now. It's a house of cards, you can blow it down. Watch it as it's falling down. Vito, what's the issue? Don't come by and they come.
Wait.
Grab your torches, load the pistols, fight the system, fight the system. They won't get you, where they want you. Just keep swinging, get them off you. They keep talking, you won't listen. Fight the system, fight the system. Yeah. Oh, just keep doing what you used to. Take a look at
Big step up. Yep.
Tick tock, you need to make your decision there.
Where's my chuck?
Like a pendulum. Go, blocks and loaded, radio. You were too bold to be regular. No, give them the satisfaction. Right now it's time for some action. Never.
Okay.
A little bit of a treat there, guys. So,
Did you see the Easter egg?
for those of you who don't recognize, that was Red Nails 1, way back in the day. So it flashed by so quickly. It was hard to see, but yeah, that was a diorama created by our good friend Noah of Mega City Minis. Of course, he's local Torontonian, and we've done a lot of work. I don't know if you guys saw the Jane subway station he did a little while ago. We did that on Figure Me. So yeah, we're doing a lot more diorama stuff and different locations here in Toronto. So yeah,
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, dude. And again, respect to all the wonderful store owners and employees out there, and Merry Christmas to everybody. So
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, take care. I guess good morning, and for some of you, good night. All right, take care, everyone.